This is the battle to stay alive before the final Judgment Week happens here in week number 13. My name is Vicious, here with Saint Cola for Street Fighter League Japan 2022. Now, we've talked about what's been happening week in, week out with some of these teams, and we've talked about that playoff contention spot. 3 of the 4 teams today will be duking it out to see who gets to advance to the next level. Before we even talk about the next level, we got to get these battles going. Yo, Saint Cola, what can we expect with today's team battles?
Man, some hot heat out here. Compliment Detonation going up against Saishun Kansou Kumamoto is our first match. And Compliment Detonation, unfortunately, out, so they'll be playing spoiler to Saishun Kansou Kumamoto. Unfortunately, Seoul Kumamoto, they're still outside the distance. They're in the qualification still, but they could be knocked out. It could happen. But then after that, we have FAV Gaming going up against Shinobiism Gaming, which will also determine seeding and where they're solidified to as well. As you point out, everything is so important. It feels like every match is an anchor match because all these points matter. How you do and your team does and the other teams do too as well is going to matter so much for the qualifications, for the finals coming up within just a few weeks. And this is sad to say, but we only have 3 days to play. 3 days, including today, left. So there's not a lot of time for these teams to get these points.
And I haven't really done the math with everybody, but I don't think there will ever be a point in time where we'll have to calculate the tiebreakers ourselves. But in case there happens to be a tiebreaker, I'd imagine we'd have like 1 extra day to kind of duke it out. Hopefully, that'd be kind of nice, but it really depends. We're still trying to see who will be the champion of this season's league because there's going to be a lot of money on the line going towards that, right? 8 million yen going into the prize pool, 5 million for first, 2 million for second, and 1 million for third. But everybody wants that bigger prize, right? The ultimate pride of being crowned a champion of Street Fighter League Japan, but also the prestige of being able to battle against the other champions of Street Fighter League over at the Big Dance Capcom Cup. So let's get it started, right? We've talked about what teams are on the deck, and we're about to announce who will be doing what. We've talked about Compliment Detonation playing spoiler. They will be on the home side. Saishun Kansou Kumamoto, they will be playing defenders on their turf. And I can't wait to see what the roster is going to be like.
Absolutely. You know, Saishun Kansou Kumamoto is in the 4th place position. Obviously, Team Detonation is in 7th place, and they're so far away, they won't be able to play in terms of the playoffs. But again, just playing spoiler is so important. Taking away as many points as possible. The other teams is so important. It's so important. And it's important that y'all keep giving love out here to the Capcom people on Twitter. We love seeing what y'all are saying about Street Fighter League Japan. Keep hitting us up. Keep hitting the Capcom, both the American and the Japanese Twitter accounts. Hit them up. Let them know what you think. And what I think is it's time to get these teams up on the deck against Saishun Kansou Kumamoto going up against Compliment Detonation. Let's start off with the sun shining on the Brute King himself, Nemo, with that Falk, but usually Uryo in play. And then after that, we have the Prodigy himself, always staying gold with that guy, Higuchi. Man, he's already qualified for that World Warrior tournament. And right behind him, also qualified, is a Little Devil, now the Big Devil doing a lot of damage out here. Shuto with that Uryo in play. Last but not least is the Monk himself, coming from the mountains and doing a lot of damage too as well with this character sim. It is YHC-Mochi rounding out this team. Saishun Kansou Kumamoto still in the qualification zone, still within 4th place spot, but they need as many points as possible to stay solid.
This is going to be ever so important for Saishun Kansou Kumamoto to ward off the threat that is Compliment Detonation with the guidance of the strong arm pillar leading the pack. It's Itabashi, who's usually playing G, maybe the Abigail. Of course, on the hero side, though, none other than Nauman, Evo Japan winner with the Luke and the Cody, followed by the babyface Trickster, who also has a very strong Cody of his own. It is John Takeuchi. And then it's the Ace's return. It's Uryo with a very, very aggressive style of Rose that could be the absolute wild card. Now, this composition could very well put a big damper into the amount of points Seoul could actually gather because they are so unpredictable, especially from the home field, right? You have so many different looks that you could give towards Saishun Kansou Kumamoto to really stop their advance, but it really depends on what the roster and what the character selection is going to be like from the side of Team Seoul. So, let's get that reveal now. Interestingly enough, YHC-Mochi is going to be the vanguard. He's starting up things first with Dalsim, Shuto as second with Uryo, and then Higuchi as the captain, or sorry, the anchor with Guile. That's pretty impressive. How do you even counter that?
That is it's difficult. I mean, we talk about the team members that are on Team Detonation, and they have such wily playstyles and characters that it's almost a good thing and it's a blessing and a curse. I feel like there's some characters that can deal well with Sim, that's some that can deal well with Urien and Guile, but it's like the playstyles are so different. Like Shuto has proven, for example, how well he can deal with some of these bad matchups or matchups that are maybe not so favorable for Urien and still take it. So it's like it's both going up, and they're sitting up Uryo first. I honestly thought that he would be last. I thought that aggressive style would be great against Higuchi, but we're seeing him go up first against YHC-Mochi.
And that's the same kind of bet that Hamiko had actually put down too. He was thinking that Uryo's aggressive style, I think I heard him talk about it. There's an offensive style that Uryo can implement to kind of smother Higuchi, and Rose does have the kind of normals to get around it too. Her fireball game can be just as potent, and her setups too can really put a damper on what Higuchi wants to do in one of his playstyles. But this is pretty interesting, right? You're applying now the offensive prowess that Uryo has to pretty much smother YHC-Mochi and prevent him from even getting his turn to attack. I think this is going to be pretty powerful, and I also think that V-Trigger 1 would play a very big help in this particular matchup. So I'm not thoroughly, I'm not too surprised. I do think this makes sense, but I would have also expected Uryo to be left for maybe the reserve pick.
Either way, I mean, I feel like he's a good addition to the team. He's going to be great, powerful no matter where he's put at, and they must have a game plan for that final pick, and also the second pick too as well. Let's take a look at his current record, 5-8 in terms of matches won and matches played. That's a really good spread right there. We talked about how it took him a little bit for him to even show up on the scene, but man, when he did, he was the most explosive I've seen in Street Fighter League in terms of aggression, decision making, risk taking, things like that. But it's all calculated. He's a very emotional player too as well. I love watching his camera as he plays. So he has been doing a lot of work out here for his team, and I feel like he's been pulling a lot of weight too as well. And he could be playing spoiler right here against YHC-Mochi, who has, in a different way, I want to say an aggressive style, but a very buttonsy style. Compared to the other teams that we see, he's very buttonsy, likes to use normals. It's not really about the mix with it. He's about just utilizing these buttons, spacing people out with the footsies and things like that. Almost old school play.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to be talked about when it comes to whether or not a Dawson player prefers to be stationary and play that annoying style that you mentioned, or if they'd want to opt towards movement and the mix. That's kind of similar to, or that kind of explanation kind of goes towards someone like Torimeshi, who's really utilized some of the defensive maneuvers he can take airborne, especially with V-Skill 1. But I think the reason being, you talk about the current record that YHC-Mochi has, 2 wins out of 6, if I'm not mistaken, and only 20 points. One of the reasons why he had suffered such losses is because of the matchup they had in the previous week, right? Uryo had actually stepped up to YHC-Mochi in their first encounter and taken him down 3-1, right? Had won the first one, lost the second one, and then got 2 back-to-back W's against YHC-Mochi. He's looking to repeat the results, but at the same time, this is going to be a shorter set. There might be a little bit more urgency under the, pretty much lit underneath YHC-Mochi to kind of bring out more of that movement. Maybe he won't play the same kind of style that failed him the first time. Maybe he'll be a little bit more on the movement rather than the buttons.
I like to see that. I feel like that's the next step, next evolution. I feel like people have gotten used to that butsy sort of style. Uryo himself even said it won't be like the same like the last time. He said, I've been prepping and studying in the sim matchup, and I want to show something new. And I love it when players say they want to show something new. That means we get to see new tech, more of matchup spread and things like that. What happens in the matchup? This is not even a matchup that we get to typically see again. Rose, not the most popular character. We get to see Filipino man, Aqua in Japan, but not that many people playing this character. Luffy on as a secondary sort of thing, but we don't get to typically see this matchup too continuously, so it's always great to see these things evolve. And again, I want to see Mochi's play evolve. I feel like he's capable of so much more. He did really well last year at EVO Online. He got second to only Kawano, so that's saying quite a bit. But his results out here have been a little bit lacking. I feel like that's, once again, once you get to that top spot and showcase how strong you are, people start looking at you and they start studying and they start looking at your game plan. So you have to make something new happen out here, and they definitely have to make something new out here because they want to stay solid. Saishun Console Kumoto, qualification zone, wants to stay in that area. 290 points. They could be taken down by FAV Gaming if they leave with nothing, and FAV Gaming leaves with quite a bit.
Yeah, this is going to be a little bit problematic, right? We've talked about some of the players that have exercised their characters and have had some of these matchup experiences, even in like the World Warrior events, right? Sometimes it doesn't necessarily equate to that kind of success that they're looking for. But at the same time, this is where you actually have the data to go forward and find the counter, because Detonation is pretty much giving you that luxury. They're pretty much giving you that chance to actually put into effect what you've been studying off of how you lost, right? This is not something that's going to be taken for granted in the slightest. I think somebody like YHC-Mochi had instantly looked at his replays to figure out what he had done. He actually kind of talked about it, right? You know, during his pregame interview, he mentioned it, you know, last time we went in and lost towards Uryo, so he's absolutely hoping to win this. And he mentions it's going to be different from the last. I will showcase something different and new, right? He's already made that statement. As for Uryo, he already has that expectation of it not being the same as the last time, right? He talks about prepping and studying on the Dawson match, so he's looking to showcase something different in regards to how he performed last time they encountered each other into this brand new set. So we're going to see the stops being pulled out from both. It's going to be Capcom Detonation starting things off first against Saishun-kan Seoul Kumamoto. This is going to be game one between Uryo and YHC-Mochi.
Let's see what they both bring to the table. Even if you win or lose, you have to play the tables and prepare. Become better than what you were last time. Let's see if he's fine. First to two. Not a lot of time. Against someone like Uryo, you might get smothered before you can figure out how he wants to play.
Just outside of the ring this year. Now we're talking about that, right? Oh, and I like that. Yeah, dashing right in there and also getting this sweep against the fireball. I'm liking the activity from YHC-Mochi thus far. Oh, and it is going to be trigger 2. You have to hold this entire thing. Take the throw. You got to get up. Still meaty. A lot of frame traps. Take the throw again. Decent amount of damage. The output is there from the trigger, and I love the V-shift break.
Exactly. Good defensive force right there. Switching what he does on wake up. Still, YHC-Mochi has feature, could hit that activation. If he gets that on hit, hold this throw, down to the ground you go. B-slide applied to as well. We're looking a little bit lost. The knockdown, he's caught up in the corner. We've seen him fight outside this corner, but not against a character like this. The crush, the pickup, medium B-shifts out of there. YHC-Mochi with a lot of bar to utilize.
The countering, yo, Uryo still tried to press a button on that, and that was ill-advised. As you can see, it leads up to the setup where it's guessed for game, either a throw, a frame trap, or even a frame trap via Yoga Gale. Either a normal or a Yoga Gale throw is the way, but that's going to be so tough to try.
Talking about the mix, when we talk about how he needs to be different with the mix and the movement, YHC-Mochi has to position himself a little bit better in this match than we've seen typically throughout the league. And just utilizing different economy of buttons, not so much. Yo, the sweep anti, the trip guard, bro, against the jump fears.
That was pretty good, not gonna lie. Look at the activity now from YHC-Mochi. This guy is spending all the bar. The pressure, Uryo getting out of his seat on that one. He is not happy. He is looking stressed to death. YHC put in the full effect with the EX. My man is looking different. Man, he's looking different.
Not the good sort of different. Call him stranger. My man rocking back and forth right like that. It felt like he got hit by that Gale. But honestly, the decision making that we see from YHC-Mochi on offense, on the wake up side of Uryo, is making him feel uncomfortable. Switching up what he does and making it real cheap, difficult to deal with. And these round starts have been fantastic. YHC-Mochi on game point in again. Call him Tekken.
That's so rude from that close, a little dangerous, but either way, it's gonna look at what YHC-Mochi's trying to do to the big opening. He's looking for Uryo to kind of put himself in a dangerous position, right? He's looking for the whip punishes primarily. YHC-Mochi has been opting to go for the move. He's allowing Uryo to kind of go towards him and then rely on the side switch just like that. Oh no, that actually hit. You're actually in deep trouble. Look at the amount of damage. We're gonna get an air reset. Yes, we are.
Called it.
Excellent V-shift. Right there,
he's out of danger. What a reversal jab right there. Caught him with the medium EX, connects, and he's not done. The side switch, the V-trigger, saving the day and being able to solidify this matchup a little bit better. We didn't really see him get too much last time, but this time he stays fine and gets around with the board.
Agreed. Extremely volatile when it comes to these two so far. And now Uryo given the chance to close the gap. That was actually kind of cool. Sliding past the roundhouse and also being able to get the punish.
I feel really important right here as we get through a lot of these buttons. The fireballs too as well. He has to position himself in the right way. Getting fireball, not that bad in terms of what he's getting off in exchange. EX fireball locked down. Almost the other round. Oh, the answer to the bait. Oh, that would have been sick if he would have landed it. He's activation, caught in the corner.
Not gonna be pressing the button. He will be taking. Oh, okay, I like that. Not even gonna try to take the meaty. I love that from YHC-Mochi. The threat is no longer there, and that was such a great view reversal because he has so much life. He doesn't even need to have to cook him and anybody up. And he also has enough life to build up that gauge regardless. Will he utilize it on offense? He does not need to. The slide does not have that much low-profile capabilities. Not for that long, at least. He does get clipped by the medium punch on the way up. Ooh, for the back roundhouse catches.
About that. Round start already getting crush counter. EX connects, gets a knockdown. Soul arrow. EX fireball. Soul spiral follow up. It's a meaty called pressive buttons. Pressure gets the wall. Now he's about to fall off. This combo. Oh! Drops the crouch fears.
Drop.
Unfortunate.
So from YHC-Mochi. Uryo, blood in the water. There's the aggression. This could actually all change. He has to use the view reversal, but no! He tried to drill. He thought it was going to connect, but I think Uryo either punished it on landing or had interrupted it while it was midair. It's very, very close to call, but Uryo still, either way, manages to space himself out well to get the punish with the Soul Spiral.
This all feels like he's being able to make the comeback because of the V-trigger situation that he wasn't able to get off previously. That does a lot of damage. It sets up shop for you having to hold a lot of this pressure. At the minimum, the throws that she presents. And the corner pressure has been really good. If he routes up these things and stores up the drops, could see Uryo take it. YHC-Mochi though, I like the game plan. I like the different style, but you can't stay up there a while. That's an easy DP right there beside Uryo.
Again! He's been calling out that back roundhouse so many times over. I'm loving this from YHC-Mochi. What was that?
Oh. Both state. Follow up. Good. Dash up throw. Try to catch attack and EX fireball. Locked down with the pressure. That plus rate situation. It falls to the fierce and the fireball again. Uryo utilize that bar, something different with him, and able to seal it and steal it. Even with these small drops, able to make the match happen. Set point.
Movement, trying to get a frame trap as well afterwards. Uryo. I love that air fireball. I don't know what YHC-Mochi tried to do, but he just exchanged with it. And now he's in huge trouble. Are we going to see a V-reversal? We sure are. But yeah, he can't get himself out like that. Not with the slide. There's nothing back behind it. There's a punish on the Soul Spiral. He's still back-to-back utilizing it. It's not going to be too problematic for Uryo up until YHC-Mochi is released from the shackles that is the corner.
V-reversal. So caught in the corner. V shifts away. He pick and play though. YHC-Mochi putting on the EX fireball to lock him down. Interrupting something special. But find the right way to slide in. Bar at the bottom for Uryo. That's going to be a punish. Can YHC-Mochi route this back towards the final game, final round, puts the EX down, and the anti-air is right there. Final game, final round, baiting out that jump in, find the anti-air, and giving us more games.
This is so stressful. I'm not even playing it, it's so stressful. It's actually so back and forth, it's really difficult to call. Down to the final round. Taking a look at the whip on it, I love that back medium punch, or sorry, medium kick against the standing heavy. He's been having all the right movement so far. YHC-Mochi in the right spaces. EX Soul Spiral. This should be enough, right? Not quite.
Where does the EX again?
You knew it was coming. That was telegraphed. YHC-Mochi setting him the checkmate with the frame track EX Yoga Gale.
Man, that has been a big problematic point for someone that attacks so much like Uryo. And I get it, you don't want to be getting gripped up continuously. And honestly, you would have been caught up in the corner either way. But that was fantastic play from the side of YHC-Mochi. We wanted to see that evolution. We wanted to see him adjust himself and move a lot more. Spin the economy of buttons in a different way. And when he started getting clipped with these fireballs, the TK fireballs, you take the medium kick and the medium punch off and get aggressive with it with the dive kicks. I love how he played continuously, putting the pressure on offense, on the wake-up situation of Uryo continuously. Man, that was a good stressful match, but it was down to the wire. Us final game, final round. Could have been anybody's game either way. But YHC-Mochi with a big victory for their team. Saishun Kansou Kumoto getting 10 with the first match of the day.
Yeah, not bad at all, right? We're taking a look at what kind of or how many points this team needs to stay alive. They are currently tied with Shinobiism Gaming as it stands, and they're also increasing their lead away towards 6th place because you're taking a look at within the threshold who actually is in 6th place. It's Gyogun, right, with 265. They are increasing that lead by what, 35 points. So the only way for Gyogun to really kind of catch up is if they score 40, and if Combo Detonation, sorry, if Saishun Seoul Kumamoto gets 0 wins from this point. But that's also very difficult because we also have another full week of gameplay. But let's take a look at the stats. We're looking at the anti-air department. 100% success rate. My man shoots from the free throw line like a professional. Actually better than some of the pros in the NBA, to be honest with you. This guy should get paid the big bucks if he were in the big leagues like that. But 4-4, not too bad, not too shabby. 4-5 from the side of Uryo. Pretty tricky considering it's Dalsil. We do take that. But man, yo, 0-8 techs from YHC-Mochi.
He's holding all the throws. He said, I'm going to hold all those throws. He doesn't want to get opened up. We saw what would happen from that character. We've seen these openings that Rose can do, so I get it. I definitely get it. But that means YHC-Mochi leaving with some points for the team. Uryo, the secret weapon, one that I thought would be a big problematic point, honestly, for Saishun Seoul Kumamoto, off. Now, who do you send up against Shuto, who has been doing so much work against characters and players that, honestly, I'm going to be real, didn't think that Shuto could dominate with these W's? Who do you put up against that guy?
I want Nauman. I want Nauman to go up there, to be honest with you. But is it going to be the captain? The captain is the one going up next. Okay, so Hamiko had actually chosen this path as well. He had thought Itabashi might have gone for either Shuto or YHC-Mochi, depending on the order. But turns out he wants Shuto. He wants a piece of the number 3 qualifier, or is it number 2? But either way, World Warrior qualifier from Japan. So the Uryo main has been so stellar. Hamiko had actually highlighted him utilizing an option select, which is essentially a very important whiff punish against Tokido's low medium kick from his Luke, right? He was breaking down that full video. So you see the kind of attention to detail this cat has in regards to every matchup, right? You see the amount of work he puts into his defense and his micro-stepping that makes it so much more impressive to watch him play.
Absolutely. I mean, we saw that last year where he was able to be solid with a different sort of playstyle you'd see from other Urians when Urian was really, really good. He was top 3. Being able to utilize V-shift and V-break in the proper ways and go for V-reversal, where typically other Urian players would do that at all. And Shuto, strong outside of the league, but strong in the league too as well. 7 wins. The 11 games that he has played, and recently has been on a tear against the anchor match. He's been taking on the likes of, like we saw Tokido in a 3-0 dominant fashion, the match that you just mentioned previously. To me, that just shows how strong he is, despite the fact that he has a target on his back, where we see these players that do well outside the league, and people are like, okay, this guy's strong. I got to study him. Staying solid takes a lot of work. Changing up your game plan takes a lot of work, and being strong against these top players takes a lot of work. And someone like Shuto has been surprising everybody around the world with this Urian, still showing that he is strong. Shuto says that he's been playing well, so this matchup with G will end up with a big smile. Our leader gets unhappy, so I'll make sure the game ends up with no smile, or they be in the game with no smile. I'm assuming no smile on the side of the other team.
Yeah, so there's a lot of history between Itabashi and the leader Nemo. They don't like each other in game, not too much, because Nemo is deathly allergic to grapplers. There's been such a heated rivalry, and I do mean heated in a very whimsical way. It's actually quite the joke. These guys, again, they're no strangers to each other. Nemo and Itabashi, they've been trolling each other since I feel like we've seen them first interact. We see the epic handshake that Nemo tried to get from Itabashi in one of the matches where he had his hand on his side. He's just like, that's one of his emotes too. Like, we all remember that moment. If you don't, I highly encourage you guys to check it out. But yeah, he's trying to do his boss a service. He wants to make sure that Itabashi doesn't leave with a smile on his face. I get that. Itabashi, his rebuttal is, no smile for you. Shuto's been playing so well lately, but Itabashi, he's been practicing against that Urian a lot. So we'll see how this actually turns out. He wants to make sure that he keeps on smiling and wipes it off of Shuto's face instead. There are others using Urian, but I want to win specifically against Shuto. That is a big, you talked about the big target on Shuto's back. being one of the prime candidates as one of the best Urians in the world. So it's no surprise that Itabashi wants a piece of the action.
You know, I gotta say, he's probably the best Urian in the world, to be honest. At this point, he has done so much work that in the strongest brackets, been in the top spots. Not only has he won one of the World Warrior events of the most stacked bracket, we have the World Warrior events in general. He's been in top 2 before, top 8 continuously, so he's been very consistent overall. Itabashi, let's talk about him. His win record has been 4 wins out of 11 games. Maybe not finding the success that he'd like to have, but I feel like he might be okay with this match. He's played Nemo years upon years, obviously with different characters, maybe not G, but he understands how to fight Urian. But then again, this is a different Urian. This is Shuto. His defense is way better. His idea of how to play this character this season is just leagues upon other Urians in terms of being solid. His idea of using V-shift and V-break, even before this season, before Urian was nerfed, is something different. But the likes of Itabashi, he's found his way with this character, G. Those reads that we talk about continuously applied to a character that is so damaging like G, with the hit confirms and the idea of like strike throw and stuff like that, will definitely help him out in this match. And I think G can do fantastic against Urian. If he puts him on his back, it might be over in a flash. So we'll see who lasts up in the second match here between the two. I can't wait to see if Itabashi will take out his aggression of the Urians on the likes of Shuto, or will Shuto give his smile to his manager, like, boss, see what work I did? You know, it's time for a raise.
I agree. If he manages to wipe the smile off of Itabashi's face, he's got to get some sort of promotion or a raise, because that's pretty difficult to do in and of itself. But taking a look at the matchup specifically, G versus Urian, I think a lot can be said about the mid-range game that G can contest, right? He does have a very impressive fireball. He does have the light normals to kind of deter Urians from pressing the middle buttons that he usually has a lot of success finding with, or hitting with. You know, medium kick is pretty extensive, but standing jab or crouching jab could be a big deterrent against that. Standing light kick could stop or stuff out crouching medium kick as well. There's a lot of big deterrents from G that could stop Urian from getting his game plan started. One of the biggest things I do like is Itabashi in trigger is also willing to test with the smash under to check people who like to micro dash backwards. So we'll see if that game plan actually comes to fruition, specifically against the way Shuto likes to play. This is it right here. Battle number 2 between Itabashi and Shuto. It's G versus Uryo. Here we go.
Love that bit too on the side of Itabashi. Let's go, Romania. I'll start trying to get off the other light kicks. Oh. Could have been dangerous. That sweep. Shuto has him in the corner.
You see him buffering away the crouching jabs. And now he's throwing out some of the heavier buttons, right, to kind of get maybe like a counter poke within that range. But also kind of teasing the idea to Shuto is like, hey man, why aren't you trying to hit me?
Whiff, I dare you. Can't do a crouch fear, or you cannot do the toe tap. You gotta be careful. Very minus, and G could definitely contest that and get a fat punish to get his game plan started. But I do like that buffer right here from Shuto. These mediums have been doing a lot of work. Medium kick too as well. Shuto, not a lot of button spit, but every so often just harassing Itabashi, putting him in the corner, not biting on any of these normals, the idea of these normals at all.
Yeah, we talk about the economy of buttons that Urian does have to kind of be a nuisance in the counter poke game. You know, it feels like there's a little bit of retention here. I think Shuto is being a little bit passive, right? He hasn't pressed as many buttons. He's playing more of a passive style against Itabashi, and it's not going to pay off. We talked about the micro step back, but still, no covering the V-shift in the corner, especially Itabashi specialty. Watch out for the command grab, setting up the save jump. Oh, it's a fake one!
Oh, I like that. The crouching medium punch, the fade right through. Crouch fears, follow up. Shuto, he's going to take this easily. Build up the, oh no, I should say Itabashi. Look at the bar, the different health, but able to take that round one down with Itabashi. I like that from Itabashi, staying solid in that situation, even with the 2 mirrors up, even just a little bit of help. Oh, you notice that he stood up? The fears?
He had stood up against the second mirror. I think this needs to be said, right? He stood up on defense against the second mirror to ensure that he doesn't get thrown crouching, because he's absolutely locked down, right? If he's in block stun, he's not going to get thrown like that. That was very, very smart. The defense is so ridiculous from the side of Itabashi.
I don't think everyone likes the Shuto, but you have to have that defense. Oh, the tall boy,
that was
jumping right kick, hits it overhead.
The conversion was so nasty. That conversion was actually so sick. Itazan, you dog. That was so cool. I can't believe you got that.
Oh, don't jump. Wait, no.
That was so... Man. Itazan has all the answers against Uryo right now. Oh, no. Shuto trying to get a throw bait. Itazan, please. His trades. His initial trade into the conversion and then his defense against the mirror with the neutral jump. He baited out Shuto into throwing out the mirror, and Itazan is laughing. That was actually so disgusting. He stopped midway with the V skill, and also the mirror just ran out of time to get more hits off of it. That was so perfect. Wow.
Brother. Round 1. Anti-Urian play that he has, instant overheads, how to deal with the mirror up in the corner like that. Years and years of fighting the likes of Nemo. All come to fruition against the likes of Shuto and someone who's been so dominant. Man, Itazan. First game to him, Shuto getting a little bit more aggressive. And again, the wake up instant overhead. Light into V skill and builds up the V bar.
Shuto a little bit worried about that. He's like, you know what? I don't even want to meet these guys. Smash over into the under, into the wheel kick. We get the dash up twice, and now the forward throw, trying to at least establish the threat. There it is. Command grab. The scaling on it, pretty significant, but it's not bad. You get the knockdown. Forward throw again. A back throw, excuse me. Back throw this time, and the stun is there. I was going to say, if that was forward throw, I don't think it would have stunned. So Itazan making the right call. Shuto looking a little shook.
You know, I think that, honestly, the media situation is putting Shuto off his game a little bit. You're so afraid of these wake-up decisions. If they're too far up, you don't have a real media. So it's looking like Shuto is looking a little bit lost in terms of continuing pressure when he gets that knockdown. His bumpers have been great, but he seems so pensive. The toe tap, like the way that he wants to enter with a toe tap, roll kick, can get hit with the light, but the EX does get the knockdown, the chariot tackle, and the Batista bomb. Maybe now he can get more aggressive as he has Itazan caught in the corner.
A little bit problematic for the side of Itazan. Shuto looking to at least take this round without spending more resources than he already has. He's just saving a bar. But this just gives Itazan more chances. Because look at how locked and loaded he is down below. If he gets a big opening from below, he tried it. No micro step back, and that's one of Shuto's biggest defensive strengths, right? Being able to micro walk back out of harm's way. G is denying that.
Flag bumpers. Don't dash. The EX, like, explicit reason. V shift goes for the break to get some distance with it. Shuto, wind down the clock right there. Building up some of that great life. He is on side. Nice. Target combo gets a knockdown almost at the end of the round. They just get that jab. Just a dab will do. A light, a medium. Light kick, I lied. Now definitely a medium punch. We'll seal it and steal it.
Same side! Oh no, he's not gonna make it in time. 8 seconds. Are you gonna spend all your resources? He's just applying medies. That's fine. That's totally fine. He's building himself so much. Oh, that was so smart from Itazan. Although he didn't get the W, he knew. He definitely knew what was up. He was building up so much meter for himself.
That means a reverse situation if need be, or that means more means EX bar at the bottom to utilize during V trigger. But the EX bar is utilized right here for Shuto. Gets the knockdown, chariot tackle, gets it meaty, EX headbutt. No more fear from him. He's trying to get his win. Stocks up with the V skill. Get a kill. A lot of damage. Oh, the neutral jump on the throw bait. Coming for your dome.
He hit him with the Captain Nemo. He hit him with the handshake of destiny. He's like, you will shake my hand, sir. You will not be denied.
Shuto. Comfortable now. Feeling a lot more aggressive, and I like him starting off a lot more aggressive too. Not as pensive, because he gets these good round starts, and then the onus is on Itazan to stop the opposites. The onus is on him to try to make that comeback. And with V-Trigger, now how things happen, you have to put him in the corner, and you're not going to do that robbery. You're putting him in the corner with that V-Trigger bar. It's no longer about, I'm going to rob you and take 70% of your health. It's, I'm putting you in the corner, and then I'm making the magic happen. It hadn't happened previously. Now, final match between the two.
Look at that, both swinging away. And you see how tense it is. Both are actually whiffing the marks. Can't even get their whiff punishes going. Oof, ball kick, finds the mark this time. Roundhouse to roundhouse. The first 2 hits to really connect. There we go, anti-air. It's all Shuto now. Forward throw, we talk about this momentum. He's being the aggressor, plus frames everywhere. Look at the mix. What about it, Shuto? He's chill, nice and calm. But no, he dashed up. He thought he was nice and calm. Itazan was ready for him. Shuto being absolutely impatient in that corner. Oh boy, Itazan went for something tricky and got punished for it.
Wasn't like to commit with it. Unfortunate. B-skill. The splash. Not gonna overextend because of that mirror situation. Shuto with the overhead. The splash. Look at that. Didn't overextend because of the mirror situation. Again, did not want to get clipped and hit. Still hasn't caught the corner. Still anyone's game. The neutral jump denied. The damage applied. EX chariot tackle as an anti-air. Shuto on set point.
I think he would have been able to continue the combo with a smash over despite the mirror being there with the amount of life he had left. I think he could have been able to continue the combo and still do like a juggle combo off of that, or like a trade combo off of that. I'm pretty sure he could have. I don't know if he knew it.
Fortunate. Shuto now getting duffed up. Itazan goes on the offensive. Round start. Had a good run right here until back to mid-screen. Bars flashing. Itazan looking for a medium kick or heavy kick activation. Or EX low.
It's so tough too. Shuto needs 1 clean hit, possibly into critical art, and it could be the end of it. If he manages to get a confirm. Oh, snap. Check the lows. I love it. He checked the micro walk back, I think. No way. He was already walking back. He was fine. He's totally fine with this. Absolutely fine with this. We're going to a final round. Yet again, Itazan forcing the meter spendage from Shuto. Big mistake. Costly error.
It's going to be so important. The EX chariot tackle has been doing some of these normals every so often from Itazan, and now he doesn't have this round start. Fireballs though from the side of Shuto. Playing with that plasma, slinging out mid-screen. But the buffer is clean right here off from Shuto, the medium chariot tackle. EX2 as well from the aerial approach. Now on the ground, he's locking him down. Light, anti-air for crouch fierce. Far at the bottom from Itazan. Many ways to rock this back.
Ooh. Go forward again. The trade! Oh, he tried to go for the smash over. Wasn't there in time. He didn't want to spend the EX bar either. Not just yet. There it is. For the activation. He's looking for it. He's looking for a frame trap. He knows Shuto is going to sit still. The main tool of micro walking back on defense has been deterred a couple of times over. Shuto firing away. He doesn't have any more EX though. The whip punish on the medium. Don't get command grab. Do not. He knows it. Oh. He's running away with it.
He's out of there. It's a run.
Oh no.
Try to get it done. The mirror crouch fierce as a big 1 more hit will do it. Break the shimmy, and that's a stabby shimmy, because right there, Shuto is leading with all the points against Itazan. My God. The 1-2 step.
I'm also very, very surprised at that very last moment where he had jumped out. He didn't go for the body splash. He went for an empty jump, and he got clipped by the crouching heavy punch. I can't imagine what was going on through Itabashi's mind as soon as he escaped that corner and went for the jump. Was he thinking like it wasn't going to hit? I don't know. I hope they play that on the replay because that's just unfortunate. Like that could have been his game. That definitely could have been his game to win. Man, Shuto clutching it out. Very impressive, man. His main tool of defense with the micro step back still being eliminated or at least threatened every single time. He still manages his way with offense and that V-trigger. That V-trigger is pretty good. I don't know if you heard this thing, Cola, but you know, on the street, word on the street is Aegis Reflector is it's pretty good.
Word, you know, it's still a top tier V-trigger. It still makes this character relevant. It's still something that you have to worry about and forces the mix. That's crazy. But what's also crazy is Itazan going down to Shuto. The fact that Itazan has been playing this character year after year, has been playing the likes of Nemo, and still getting clipped up with the likes of Shuto, still getting smoked by the likes of Shuto, shows how strong Shuto is. And I like the anti-airs on the side of Shuto. He was denying a lot of the aerial approach, even with the V skill that was implemented in V-Trigger, and no bust outs. That bust out that did come from Shuto was the super, but I like that, once again, the defense of Shuto is so fantastic. We talk about the micro steps, we talk about the V shift and the V break, how he varies up his V bar in terms of, am I going to use it for offense for the V-Trigger, am I going to use it for defense for V reversal, V shift, and things like that, is what makes him so consistent and so strong. You couple that with the buffers, and Uryo is still a threat, and the likes of Shuto is still a threat out here. 10 points on the side of their team as well, walking away with the victory against likes of Itazan. You know my man ain't smiling anymore.
Absolutely not. He came back and told his boss, hey, we got to have that meeting now. I took the smile off of Itabashi's face. I want my promo. I want my raise ASAP. But one thing is for certain, he might get that raise maybe if they happen to get, you know, one of the placings in the top 3, you know, with that extra yen in his pocket, maybe. But this is how it stands right now. They're very much so looking into being a part of the playoff scene because of the fact that they have 20 points. Can Higuchi, being one of the strongest players in the world, come up with the 20 bomb to complete the circle? So, we do have John Takeuchi coming up on deck. This is pretty impressive. I think John Takeuchi was also expected to go against Higuchi's Guile from Hameko. How do you feel about this exchange?
I think that it makes sense, and I feel like at the beginning of the season, right, Cody was a big problem for a lot of Guile players. They didn't really know how to stand or where to stand against the V-Skill 2, the low sway. Because it's hard to punish, it's hard to deal with at like the max range. Plus, Cody just got buffed in ways that I feel like Guile players just did not want to deal with, and many players didn't want to deal with too as well. I like that we have someone like aggressive like John T, who, when he pops V-Trigger, he keeps you locked up in the corner, going up against likes of Higuchi. And I feel like John T will try to make Higuchi pay if he tries to take back his turn. And someone like Cody will do a lot of damage if that does happen. However, Higuchi, you know, we've seen how he operates. You got to prepare for Higuchi himself. You got to prepare for that player himself more than you're preparing for the Guile matchup. And those two things make him a big threat. I mean, Higuchi's been doing a lot of work out here. We've found his actual results. We've already seen him qualify in the Warrior event. He has 8 wins in 11 games in totality. He's doing fantastic out here. Higuchi says 20 points. We can make the playoffs. So if we get that, it's now about how much we climb up on the leaderboard.
It's true. Yeah, we talked about how many points are needed to make sure they ensure, you know, a comfort spot within the playoffs. Like, sure, they're looking for the most optimal seeding. We get that. But at this point in time, it's just about staying within playoff contention. That's literally it, right? They don't want to lose any points to a team that is not going to be able to make it anymore. Or any other team, really. But taking a look at John Takeuchi's record overall, right, he's currently ranked 19th in regards to everybody else. He's got 4 wins out of the 12 that he's played, and he's also been a part of a couple of tiebreaker scenarios where he's got 55 points in total, hence why those extra 5 points are there. But then you take a look in comparison to Higuchi, which is 130 points. Look at how many anchor matches he's won. Right, he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, I think, 4 anchor matches. This guy is a threat, and also one of the shining stars of the new generation.
So speaking of new generation out here, John Takeuchi's got something to say to the old guard. He said, Nemo-san, I will win. So make sure you play. Get ready to play the extra game. We'll see if that even comes to fruition. John Takeuchi, Higuchi, possibly the final match between the two. Let's see what happens here.
I'm here for it. This is the one right here. We'll see if we even get to another tiebreaker situation. John Takeuchi is pretty good at those, right? He's been, in regards to actually getting it to happen, he's pretty consistent.
Higuchi, not afraid to run those moves, especially that close too as well. We have to be a call out from the side of John Takeuchi with the sway and play. See, close range moves hard to deal with.
Oh boy. And down below he goes, yeah, no anti-air. It's a little bit tough. We've seen Cody's kind of get crossed up or have a hard time anti-airing consistently. That standing heavy punch could be a little lengthy on startup.
A little weird. Plus, the fact that you might be holding strong too as well with that button. Am I fighting up? Takeuchi side, gotta be careful. Get the super, a crush counter to super will seal this. Plus that gets the jump in.
Oh, that was sick. We do get the sway into the rough, or sorry, sway into the continuation for the V-trigger activation. It's a little bit problematic. Higuchi spending a lot of bar to keep John Takeuchi at bay, but he's not falling for any of it. Forward throw, and he still has a little bit less than half a trigger left. This could be it. Higuchi stuck in his corner. 12 seconds. Oh, he found the mark too off of a hit confirm. That was brilliant. 8 seconds. He's not even going to let it run down the time over. Higuchi taking a big risk. If he had blocked that, if John had blocked that correctly, oh boy, Higuchi would have been dead. What a risk to take. This guy's phenomenal.
That's the style of Higuchi. Just the fact that he takes back his turn when he wants to. It's so hard to read what he wants to do. With that flash kick, with that EX flash kick, you're so afraid of the reversal right after it too. So strong in terms of that play. It's surviving, weathering the storm of John Takeuchi's V-trigger one. Close range boost, hard to deal with. There's the jump in. Wasn't able to anti-air right there.
There's the activation point. Checking the loads, immediately going for the throw. Higuchi now is trapped in this corner. He's going to be looking for a way out, primarily with a light into EX Sonic Boom. Maybe. No, he tried the knee bullet. He gets stuffed out. I don't think you want to go toe-to-toe with a man like Cody. There we go.
The man's got a
Create
knife.
some space in the trade. That was so beautifully done by John Takeuchi. Again, another trade.
Oh, didn't have enough knife, but that still gets a last hit to do it. Man, if you would have had that last hit, that would have been fantastic. But still, keeping outside that range, outside the throw, and the knee bullet, fantastic play from John Takeuchi. Even things out, full bar at the bottom. EX on could come through the continuation of the hard, or he wants the EX fireball to lock down the neutral against some of these Sonic booms.
Backdash there, but it only gives Cody a little bit more pressure as Guile gets towards the corner. We do get that confirmed from John Takeuchi, and now he's playing within mid-range. It's hard for Takeuchi, or sorry, it's hard for Higuchi to even get out. We've seen the suppression already. It's quite the session for Cody, but now Higuchi has to spend that V-gauge. There we go. We get an opening now. It's Higuchi's turn to play offense, and I like the way he plays his offense. Look at this. John Takeuchi not afraid. There's the burning stream to the heart.
He blasted. Oh, the whip punish on the knee bullet. The fist was there. He was aware. No back to the low. Just the normal throw. EX pushing to the corner. And the fierce, you call him pressing a button on plus. That's positivity. You see John Takeuchi with them EX songs, utilizing that bar continuously to put him in bad situations. And Higuchi's tendencies to press when he shouldn't are getting caught.
That was rough too. Like, you have yourself in a +3 scenario with EX Zonk, and my man threw out the standing heavy punch right up point blank. If he had canceled that into trigger, it would have been even harder to contest against, because that is like, what, near double digits if you activate V-trigger 1 on block? That is so difficult to even try to comprehend. It's like, my man did what now? That's, huh? On block? A heavy punch? Oh, God. You gotta pray. You have to pray.
Man, John Takeuchi, his corner pressure is so nasty. Even outside of V-trigger, it's been really, really good. He builds up that bar with that knee kick and just being continuous with a lot of his pressure on block against the likes of Higuchi. And then he puts you in the corner and harasses you over and over again. And if you're not there, he'll put you there with the EX arc when he does have the bar. Really good game plan. Higuchi has to find a way outside these corner positions.
Man, he whip punished that? That was actually kind of sick. This guy, and he's still covering the anti-air. Higuchi is frozen. He is actually frozen in the corner, but it's not to his fault, man. Cody can really push the issue with all the plus frames he can apply, especially when he has meter. Outside of that, this is where Higuchi shines, right? He needs to get his offense going before John Takeuchi decides to spend the meter. There's one, +3, hold that. Forward throw, look at the corner carry. Jesus.
Look at the damage too as well. The stun's rising. Flash kick, able to get some distance with it. These jumpers are coming through with the medium kick too, but here's the activation, the plus frames. Press a dang button off that +1 situation. Go up in the corner. Again, moving these plus frames, forcing out the reversal from the likes of Higuchi. And you see how aggressively he is trying to work his way out the corner. He does not want to be there. He knows what happens. He's seen the results.
Great confirm off of that. Medium punch into the V-trigger, into the ruffian. So much extra damage off of that range. Activation, forward throws, set up some booms. You can't really set it up in a sloppy manner. You have to be precise with it. The V-skill too could stop him.
Box the EX, ooh, another one. The walk-in block here from Takeuchi. Fantastic. So one more bar at the bottom right here. One more shot in the tank for the EX addition though from Higuchi. EX, Zog, ooh, the crouch immediate kick gets the hit with the target combo. Higuchi stayed with some of this, but look at how close that was.
Either way, now we get to see Higuchi starting to slowly creep back up against John. What a confirm into the low ruffian. No, but not this time. He thought that confirm was there. Committed to the medium ruffian and gets bodied for it. Higuchi working his way back a little bit. We talk about the impressive walk through the dial more often than not, but this time it's not going to be a big factor. John Takeuchi is still hunting him down. The sonic booms have not been as prevalent as we expected them to be, but John is reluctant to throw out that V-skill. He doesn't have the reactions to it yet. At least in this round.
Higuchi is getting close enough where it might be problematic. You might get like light kick, charge, flash if you really hard, you know, like something like Higuchi can do. But however, it's definitely helping out eating away the life of John Takeuchi. He has to back up a bit and let that V-skill rock. Oh, he's gonna drop. He does have the bar at the bottom for the V-trigger. Where is it gonna activate at? Gears, medium kick, forward heavy kick. Oh, V reversal immediately.
Oh, that was so smart. Actually from John. He had baited out the V-reversal. Higuchi thought it was going to be a trigger activation after the hammer. There we go, after the V-skill. Now it's game time. V-bullet, no counter. Oh my god, the confirm! He found a way in. Crouching jab, boom, into critical art. Higuchi with the confirm of a lifetime. That is 2 rounds into that game 2, all tied up.
This is godlike from both sides. Higuchi getting more solid and feeling really comfortable with these close range booms. I love seeing this adjustment from him. However, on the side of John Takeuchi, the fact that he is whip punishing just easily, I feel it's like perfectly. The back fist and forward fierce confirms, or the command normals that we see from Guile, that was a big problematic button from a lot of people to deal with. I remember people having problems dealing with Daigo's buttons on FTC Translated, and it felt like all of Japan was like, oh, we got to find a button from our character that works out. We got to find a way to deal with this button because we're getting crush counter into super, we're giving him V-bar, and he's found a way to play against those buttons. This could be anybody's game, and I'm just loving the back and forth. This is great from both players.
I'm loving this so far. Now it's up to John Takeuchi to adapt to what happens, or to adapt to what he needs to do on defense, right? You see Higuchi's offense really starting to show up in game number 2. What are you supposed to do now when you're not allowed to kind of hover within the mid-range game and dictate the pace with your buttons? What do you do now when Higuchi is pretty much on your tail, throwing out some of these lights and some of these booms in ambiguous times? V-bullet playing a lot more. Yeah, a lot more importantly, again, just trying to find this range from Higuchi is so tough to manage.
You're right. There's still more that you have to deal with. That's still like the first echelon. So that V-skill 2, outside that, I feel like the tick would be a pretty good range to play. Your medium kick, medium punch will definitely hit, and you'll get your buffers that you want, but Higuchi's making that difficult. The movement that he has, that walk speed you talked about, it's like right around there is great, but you still have to wait for the other buttons of Higuchi to whiff. The activation though, plus frames up in medium. Striking back.
Oh my god, let it rock. Higuchi, yes sir. He's starting to test the defense on John Takeuchi. He's sweating a little bit. If this continues on, there's no doubt in my mind that Higuchi will take it all the way. This has been very problematic for John. He hasn't been able to stop Higuchi and his button presses. His economy of buttons have been spent very, very well from the close range game.
Back to the Sonic Boom game,
building a lot of EX.
That's a back throw. For meaty kick. Yeah, Higuchi's definitely looking like he's comfortable with all of his buttons again. Upside down kick, the forward meaty kick. The minus buttons are plus to him. At that right range, look at that space trap. What do you do here, Vicious? What do you do?
Well, you gotta keep creeping, man. You gotta keep walking up a little bit till you get your EX zonk. And look at this. Higuchi still finding the defense to it, just backing all the way out. John Takeuchi, he has not been able to guess correctly. against Higuchi's strategy just yet. There it is. Yeah, he catches the walk back, but he doesn't get to convert. He catches the walk back again 2 times in a row. Oh no.
That's big boy damage. One more good jump in. One more good crush or the back fist to get the W. John Takeuchi caught him walking in and stuffed. I should say Higuchi. John Takeuchi, though, is getting stuffed right now. I'm very shocked right now at how dominant Higuchi is playing in terms of making John Takeuchi, the likes of him, feel uncomfortable and not being able to utilize that B trigger that we have seen for the plus frames. Not even feeling afraid of being in the corner position. And he's doing a good job of keeping these leads. He gets the super, lands that big hit right there, and John Takeuchi has to make the comeback, and it's not happening. Higuchi feeling comfortable throwing out these booms at any range. Even the V-Skill 2 range with the low sway from Cody, it doesn't even matter to him.
Yeah, it's been very difficult to tell when he's going to be throwing up the booms. He's also changing up the different strengths of the booms. You can kind of see the travel distance and the travel time, I should say, between A to B. And it's been very difficult for John Takeuchi to call consistently, right? If he manages to guess one wrong, Higuchi gets a free extension. He can do it into like a sweep, maybe into like a low forward or whatever normal if he's close enough. But most of the time, it's just been Higuchi harassing with different normals too. He's given him so many different looks, and John Takeuchi is not ready for all of them.
Round 1.
Jumpers ever so often. Problematic as well. Higuchi on game point. See what John Takeuchi has to offer. Walk up throw on the minus situation.
Man, look at the amount of booms that he's not able to contest against. Look at how much life, the big life deficit too, the anti-air. It's been so tough. Higuchi is so impressive with his offensive capability to switch up overall. From that shift out of there. Into the situation, punish on that. John Takeuchi, he's guessing. He's guessing when the booms are coming.
Difficult. So hard to deal with right here. If it isn't 2 booms, it's 2 back fists. Now whip punish though. John Takeuchi has him in the corner. Gotta make this count. Medium, V reversal. The side of Higuchi backs up a bit. Tries to find a jump in. No go. Not gonna happen there. Anti with the fierce. But still, John Takeuchi has a long road ahead of him. And it's bar at the bottom for Higuchi to bust out if need be with the flash kick.
Oh! I thought that roundhouse was gonna get hit, but he doesn't have a 3-framer. That's the thing. Cody, a little on the slow side. He doesn't have any of those kind of normals. He's 4-framer higher. Oh boy. Oof. Do you notice the booms that Higuchi's been throwing? Like the jab booms have been like so tucked in at the right time, where if John Takeuchi is trying to like destroy even from closer range, it would actually end up trading. It's so tough right now for John.
It's so hard because you think about the bar at the bottom too as well. The EX bar, EX boom could come through with the quickness, and these other normals. It just sets up shop in the interruption on the EX Zong. Wasting a bar and caught him coming in. Higuchi again, Kamiya buttons now going up. Higuchi feeling real comfortable. Stopping. John Takeuchi's approach. Pop in the corner. I still feel like Higuchi is very confident right now.
He's been confident, I think, since game 2. Or sorry, yeah, game 2 when he got that first W. Higuchi started to figure it out. What in anticipation? That was just very, very lucky. I think he was looking for the EX Zonk. Anything forward moving would have got clipped, and it sure did after the hammer. But we do see the activation now from John. We get the carry also from the double ruffians, but we will see what it leads to. Will Higuchi succumb to that weakness he did in game 1? Does he have to hold back the whole time? He's just waiting out for trigger. The burn is straight. He's looking for the crush counter. Saint, is he going to get the critical art, though?
Looking for it. We're all looking for it. Higuchi's looking for it too. Can he find the crush? Side switch fears. He'll get it off the light. That is good night. Off the V trigger. The march of the baby booms means the end of detonation and a big 40 bomb win here for Saijun Console Kumoto Higuchi. 3-1 over John Takeuchi.
Absolutely ridiculous in regards to the adaptation that this man has. His offensive prowess has been so hard to play off of. It's been like his pressure, I should say, not his prowess, but he does have prowess as well. But his offensive pressure is absolutely ridiculous. John Takeuchi, despite getting the first game in a pretty confident manner, we seen a lot of reluctancy from Higuchi. He figured it out pretty much after game 1, and we saw the slow power creep coming in from game number 2. Game number 2 was mad close, don't get me wrong, but once that win happened, and once it finally clicked on offense, he's like, you know what? This is mine, man. I got this. You can see the huge difference in regards to his gameplay and how much more confident he was after game 2.
Yeah. Being able to play your way, that's a big thing in fighting games. It's like being able to play the style that you want to play it. And being in that comfortable zone, you have to figure out how to get there when it's taken away from you. The light booms that you had pointed out were such a problematic point for John Takeuchi not being able to do the sway like he typically would like to do. B-skill 2, when he does the up sway, the low sway, all of those deleted and defeated off the table. And that walk speed of Guile, switching up where he positions himself at, made it really difficult to deal with. And then every so often the jump hits too as well. Jump medium kick, jump heavy kick, hard for John Takeuchi to be ready for every single time. We saw some anti-airs that were great, but it was not enough. Higuchi in his bag is so hard to stop. He's going to be able to take 40 points in total. I mean, the whole team taking 40 points in total. Higuchi taking that anchor match dominantly at the end there. Great play from Higuchi.
Super impressive. Who would have thought we would get 2 40-point games in our second to last week of Street Fighter League Japan? And more impressively, with Saishun Seoul Kumamoto being on the away side, I don't think they found like that much success being on the away side, I think, but I could be wrong. I think like looking at their current record, it's been very, very difficult to call which side they actually favored. But as we all really have seen throughout the entirety of like Street Fighter League from different regions, the away side is often going to be, or it's most likely going to be the one that gets counterpicked, right? Depending on the characters and the team selection. But overall, it's just difficult with that in mind to even try to get a W. I think overall, Saishun Seoul Kumamoto might be one of those teams that have a very good record being on the away side in comparison to the home side.
True. YHC-Mochi has a lot to say. Today, I was going to whack and win them. I wasn't feeling well, so I didn't think I could, but I was going to play intuitively, and we saw that. He said I was going to fight as I feel. And honestly, hopefully he feels like this continuously throughout all of his tournament life, because he was playing fantastic. He was doing something different with his movement. We saw a lot more activity from him with his buttons when need be, and we saw a lot more aggression, switching up when he needed to. We'll go into all that in the replay, but I feel like this was where I'd like to see YHC-Mochi, evolve as a player. Shuto says, was Itazan smiling only the first match? Then good. That is Was he smiling? No? All right, good. So he got his smile taken away. Unfortunately, Itazan losing to Shuto, and Shuto noting that.
I'd imagine the boss has a lot to say about that particular comment. As we do have the camera.
多分ジョンが勝ってたら俺が出てたんで、ちょっとジョンにはいろいろなんかチームでの悩みとかあるのかな?
I think he has some words for John Takeuchi as well. I think so. Yeah, he has. He definitely said something towards John Takeuchi. I like that. I like that a lot. So Nemo, initially he would talk about his teammates. He says, I wasn't really expecting this. Very impressed by my teammates. They played so well. And he did remark towards John, because John in his pregame interview talked about saying that he would take the W and that he will make sure that he plays the extra game. So he was like, hey, John, I thought you were going to win. Because if you did, I would have played. He was pretty much egging him on, which is very typical to Nemo. Right? And then he even called John out even further. Says, do you need to talk to somebody? I'm around if you want to talk, buddy. It's pretty good. That's very, very much so in Nemo's character.
Oh, I love the smack talk out here at Street Fighter League Japan. Y'all thought they didn't smack talk out here? No, they definitely do. They definitely do. And I love to see that too as well. Again, the play from Saishun Seoul Kumamoto today was fantastic. Previously, his Detonations win. But for Seoul to come back with a 40 bomb instead of making it real close into 2025 shows you how much they know, or how much this matters, where every point matters, every match like an anchor match, everything matters to stay above the qualification line, to stay in that qualification zone, I should say. Higuchi said mid-kick part instant reaction affects the gameplay. He felt really good. And it seemed like he felt really good too as well. Being able to jump in on Cody continuously when he needed to, denying the EX zonks over and over again, how he was able to apply his boom pressure just comfortably in the close range game and mid-range game, just showed me that that was the Higuchi style that was coming out that he wanted to implement, where he's also taking back his turn when he wanted to as well. So Higuchi, when he's playing that way, it's so hard to stop, and we saw that come through against John Takeuchi. He just could not stop that wild style. Good job to Saishun Seoul Kumamoto.
of curious if you would count the anti-air stat towards somebody who neutral jumps. Right? If you're neutral jumping and you're baiting somebody out with like forward momentum, does that actually count against the person who gets hit by that? Because Cody is very much so susceptible to stuff like that, right? You see the kind of forward movement he can take with Zonk Knuckle. He can kind of do that with the hammer kick, which is exactly what he got caught by, right? He tried to hammer into V-skill, I'd imagine, into activation is exactly what I would, assume he wanted. But, Higuchi was pretty much 2 steps ahead of him. I want to know if that actually kind of counts. But taking a look, the anti-air department, 6 out of 9. We've seen 9 jumps from the side of Higuchi. 6 of it contested, not too bad. All things considered, Cody does have a pretty difficult time trying to anti-air consistently, but not for John Takeuchi. In terms of the strike throw game, a little bit problematic against Guile, but also a little bit problematic against Cody. You do not want to take any sort of big counter hits as to why. It leads to so much damage and a lot of screen carry. So the stats pretty much appropriate to how the games go in regards to what characters are playing off against. Both can be quite the powerhouses if you let them get the big frame trap counter hit on a throw or attempted throw.
No plus on the side of Higuchi, which is, again, shows me how stable that he was in terms of not having it countered. We saw a flash kick come out, but I guess it wasn't reversal, so we don't see that counted right there. But we do see Saishun Console Kumoto going with the 40 points. YHC-Mochi shoring things up. We see Shuto still getting his W, even against the likes of Ida-san. And then we see Higuchi just so dominantly taking it in his match 3-1. Saishun Console Kumoto, we saw Higuchi actually saying that with the away team, they gained 40 points before the game today. They thought of just making it to the playoffs, but now they want to make it to the grand finals for sure. They want to make it to that top spot. They want to be sitting cozy, sitting pretty for that final day. But we're going to see some more play out here. This replay, what do we see right here between these two players?
Well, we're taking a look at what Uryo and YHC-Mochi have been putting in the lab. We were trying to see what that big difference was, but it seems for YHC-Mochi, it looked like a little bit more aggression towards movement. He's been calling out a lot of the background houses that Uryo wanted to do by implementing that slide more, playing a lot more of an aggressive style, and also fully understanding when and where to drill, getting the big baits against Uryo time and time again. It's been very, very aggressive from the start. Uryo definitely was hanging in there. He got some really big moments, getting a couple of times over with the juggles against Dawson anytime he wanted to reach or attack from upwards. But Uryo also very difficult to kind of pin down in regards to getting the tech game right. There were a couple of mistakes that led to the demise of Uryo and gave YHC-Mochi another chance at life. Like a couple of times over here towards stun. Yeah, that's one look you shouldn't give him. But also this right here, he is going to be living. This should not have happened, right? Uryo looking for a grab instead of trying to block it out. It's a tough guess. It truly is a tough guess.
Really tough guesses. There's a lot when here on the side of Urian. He'll have a reversal, but somewhat Shuto was able to stay soft with a lot of innate defense and a lot of usage of the V-bar for V-shift, V-reversal, things like that, switching up. Ida-san had a lot to say on Wake Up. That jumping light kick, instant overhead, continuously, I feel like put Shuto off his game for just a little bit. We saw him back off a little bit when things weren't super meaty. But we saw him also staying solid, calling out things like neutral jump, getting perfect KOs, and putting Ida-san in some bad positions. There's the splash right there, but there is not the follow-up. I think, as you're right, if there would have been another follow-up, there would have been a nice little trade combo, and you would be able to maybe seal the deal right there. But Shuto was just too awake and aware of what's going on. But anti-air EX straight tackle was fantastic, and staying solid in these corner positions was great. Avoiding command grabs, avoiding situations where Ida-san would like to ride it back easily, and making sure the toe tap was not in the right range to be punishable, was allowing him to seal the deal. And one of the best feature triggers in the game, still strong, still powerful, and so is Urian, and so is Shuto.
No, it's kind of tough to watch, man. That could have been Ida-san's game, but that's just how the cookie crumbles. Going into the final game itself, John Takeuchi, we were talking about some of the mids, the mid-range buttons that Cody possesses. Higuchi had also highlighted that in his post-game interview. It's been quite the problem trying to contest against that EX Zonk. Not even just for him, but for everybody. I will say John Takeuchi's maneuvers, too, past some of the normals that Higuchi wanted to utilize, have been superb. But there was just something towards the end, got a little bit overzealous, allowed Higuchi to get this big break, right? A little too far into overstepping his boundaries, walking forward. Numerous times over, Higuchi has got John Takeuchi kind of moving in, trying to catch a frame trap or some sort of delay, and it's getting blown up sky high. Higuchi doing a great job with his button selection, especially in regards to John Takeuchi's timing. Then after that, it was pretty much exactly how you would expect it to go. Once Higuchi gets started, his offense is so difficult to even try to contest again. It's so difficult to be like, yo, man, get off me, because everybody definitely falls short to Higuchi. He's had that kind of record. In fact, he's been a World Warrior champion too. So again, very, very big adaptation from Higuchi. A lot quicker than we expected it to be. But John Takeuchi, unfortunately, falling by the wayside along with the team. Combo Fun Detonation still no longer in the running, but not allowed to play spoiler this week.
Y'all can play next week the beta test for Street Fighter 6. I can play, you can play, we all gonna play this. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna definitely grind this out. 24-hour streams, here we come. But y'all can come through too as well. Next weekend is going to be when the beta test starts, and I can't wait to see all the people. Last time we saw a ton of people with their grotesque creations in the character customization, so I can't wait to see what y'all create. Also can't wait to see like the new tech that people have developed with the characters and stuff. Even with just a brief time, we have to see a lot of cool things from like some Kimberly, from like some Ken, Guile. I mean, we get to see these characters taken to, I don't want to say the limit, but like explored so consistently. And part of that's because of the netcode. We play people from around the world, and it feels so good. I was in Puerto Rico, I was playing people from the US, I played people from the EU on hotel Wi-Fi. Don't tell people I said Wi-Fi, but I definitely was playing.
You heard
people,
it. He said Wi-Fi.
It was
said
good.
it.
Oh. But it was really good. So make sure y'all come through next week. I'm gonna get quote tweeted now. I'm in trouble. Oh,
that's your fault. You did it to yourself, man. Crossplay on PS5, Xbox Series X or S, as well as Steam. Looking forward to it. All the ranked matches, casual matches, etc. All that you could possibly imagine happening next weekend. But a little bit further on, right, as we get ready for our World Warrior events, well, guess what? We still have the finale of Street Fighter League Japan. The playoffs are going to be broadcasted live December 29th with your chance to purchase a ticket to view at the comfort of your own home to get it in full effect and pretty much get it earlier than some of the others, right? You also got to make sure you buy your ticket for the finals happening January 21st. You do not want to miss that. For more information, you can check it all out here. There's a QR code down on the bottom right. Scan that over. If you have a translator, and if you're in Japan, Google Translate is your friend, by the way. If you are in Japan, hey, be sure to check it out, as it looks super cool in the venue. And compared to what happened last year, it looks like a really, really dope place to be. And Japan's also a treat in general. Treat yourself. You know, you deserve it. You know what I mean? You've been here for this long. You've been watching for how many months? How many different Street Fighter leagues in CPT? Come on, y'all. You'll deserve it. So, again, check it out. Street Fighter League Pro-JP in person, January 21st, excuse me.
And then we come through with that. We have the playoffs and the grand finals again to see who is going to be the strongest team in Japan to move on to fight the EU and the US. And it's going to be real close depending on what team comes through in either of those areas. I can't call it. Y'all can't call it. Japan super strong, but EU has something to say lately, and so does the US. They're not going to go down without a fight. So that will be going down at Capcom Cup the 12th of February, that week of the 12th of February, I should say. A whole week of Street Fighter V action, including not only the league stuff, but also the group play. Probably see a slide on that later on today. But I gotta say that we still have some more Street Fighter V action in terms of the World Warrior event. We just had the 5th one for Japan. That was super sick. That solidifies our top 8. I have to look and see who got in with the point system. But they still have a chance, last chance qualifier for the people that didn't make it, so they still are not out of the running. So likes of, if Daigo didn't make it and such, they can still make it happen at the last chance qualifier at the Capcom Cup. Oh, yeah, you're right.
Daigo is not in the running. He's not. He's unfortunately not a part of the final World Warrior bracket. I think they had mentioned that towards the end, at least, for the stream. I was looking at it. I forgot exactly who's in the top 8, but I don't recall seeing Daigo in there for sure. Fudo's not in as well, so those two will definitely be prime candidates for the last chance qualifier. But if you want to support on Daigo, maybe the rest of the team, even Fudo on the same team, be sure to hit up the fan caravan happening. If you are in Japan, give them your energy in person. That'd be pretty swell, right? One of the biggest things is that, you know, obviously Street Fighter 6 around the corner. There's so much involved with what's happening with Street Fighter League, right? Hopefully we get a couple of setups for Street Fighter 6 over at Capcom Cup as well. happening in February, the week of. There's so many different looks happening. Like 12 and 13 is going to be the group stage. I think Tuesday and Wednesday is going to be, sorry, 12 and 13 is LCQ. Tuesday, Wednesday is group stage for the qualifiers of, you know, Capcom Cup. And then Thursday, Friday, I believe, is also going to be, what, Street Fighter League into Saturday, if I'm not mistaken.
Ooh.
And then Sunday is the finals for, I think, just the qualifiers of Capcom Cup. With that in mind, hope you guys have been enjoying. Again, be sure to check out Capcom_esports for all of the events going on in Japan on Twitter, and you don't want to miss it right here. We're concluding week 13 with the next matchup, V6 Plus FAV Gaming versus Shinobiism Gaming. We'll see who gets that cushion into the playoffs right after this break. Stay tuned.
V6 プラスファブゲーミング対シノビズムゲーミングの模様をお届けしてまいります。それでは一旦失礼いたします。
ご安全にな。
お、新入りかな。いい顔に撮れてるじゃないか。改めて担当教官のルークだ。よろしくな。
始めるとしよう。
勝負だ。
投票入りでごわす。手加減は期待しないでくれ。よく来る。ちょうだけじゃ。 Here comes a new challenger. Fighter 6. Scrap heap. Ready. Start.
Welcome back to Street Fighter League, episode 13, day 2. Let's get it through as we're in the second half. We only have 3 days remaining of league play, and I can't wait to see who's going to be making it into the finals. In fact, speaking of finals, we have the qualification players or teams sitting right here, ready to face off. FPV Gaming going up against Shinobiism Gaming. Let's take a look at Shinobiism Gaming, the clan of ninjas led by the Shinobiism Prime himself, Momochi, with that fantastic quality play, already solidified for CPT qualification, and the Gravemaker digging ditches for all of his opponents. Fujimura with that Luke. Right after is going to be the vantage point, looking from the vantage point, I should say, with that Luke play, Yamaguchi with the most defensive Lukes in the business. And then after that, the swanky ninja himself coming through with the G, my president, Johnny, rounding out a fantastic team, sitting right now in the 3rd place spot. My name is Seiko. I'm Jordan Vicious. Dog, how you feeling about the teams we about to see?
Well, we're about to see the champions from last year, so I'm pretty excited about it. It's V6 Plus FAV Gaming, led by the strongest spear, Sakonoko, with the ever-impressive Menat, followed by the Genius Pro Gamer. The man full of passion is Tokido, rocking it out with Luke, as well as Uryo in case. But if he wants to play the Uryo, he's still backed up by another Luke, by the Papa, executor of justice, it's Bonchan. And of course, coming in from super space, it's the Sansara himself, Torimeshi in that Dawson. Now, a little bit of a shakeup here as Sakonoko will not be able to make it today. He's feeling a little bit under the weather, so the rest of his teammates will be the ones to prevail. And something a little different this week, the home team will actually be revealing both their roster and their order respectively, along with their character choice, due to the fact that Sakonoko is not available. With that in mind, again, we do have the roster for Shinobiism Gaming. Take a look. Fujimura, Yamaguchi, and of course the Prime Ninja, Momochi. What's your thoughts on Cody and his 2 bodyguards?
I think it's absolutely fine. You know, G could get taken down with the likes of Luke. I do like that you put G to the side if need be for that 1st-1, but you have these 2 Lukes going up. You have Fujimura starting things off, ever optimal, ever being able to squeeze out the most out of all the characters in terms of the cheapness. I like him starting things off. And then I like also that second place spot of Yamaguchi with the most defensive Luke in the business, having great innate defense, being able to walk and block fantastically. And Momochi, he's always been great at ending things, being able to get the anchor position, being able to get big wins for his team if need be. So I think that is a fantastic spot right there. On the other side of things, it's going to be a lot of Luke play coming through today, because FAV Gaming is left with 2 Lukes and a Sim. That's still really good, though. I say that in that way, but that's still really good.
That we're gonna have 4 Lukes, I feel like, regardless, right? We're still gonna get a minimum of 2 based off of the away side, and then 2 other. Why did Torimeshi look like that? He's like, oh, I gotta play against who? Like that. That was pretty good. The look on his face looked like something out of a cartoon. He's like, yeah, I'm down to play. What? There's a Luke there? I mean, that's exactly what's expected. You know, Fujimura, again, I actually had this conversation about Fujimura on my stream in comparison to last year's performances, right? He's not the same kind of person. Fujimura is just about in the average spot with 5 wins in 10 matches, accumulating 60 points. Now, it's just a shadow of where he was at last year, where he was one of the top point earners and one of the most dominant figures in his league. And I think it's because of the fact that, you know, he's trying to figure out how to pilot this Luke, which gives a kind of counter argument. It's like anybody who picks up Luke can find success. Not necessarily, right? It depends really on the environment around them. So it makes it even more exciting to think about. The more Lukes that are coming through to Street Fighter League in general also have been countered pretty frequently, Fujimura being one of them, and even Mago, if you want to contest.
That's true. Not all Lukes are finding success. In fact, the top 5 placers in terms of point earners out here in the league in totality are not Luke players. They're not Luke players, so not always the Lukes that are getting the win. And Fujimura has not been finding success because I feel like he focuses on finding what's cheap first, and he hyper-focuses on the element. Then you have to find how to fight the matchups and stuff like that. You have to figure out, because Luke, despite being so strong and having better tools than many other characters, you still have to play matchups. You're still a fighting game. You still have to play matchups, and he's not broken in a way, or broken, I should say, or strong in a way where he could just smoke you with mix-ups and stuff like that. It's just like hit confirms, you know, finding what's optimal with those charge combos. If you're not landing those, you're not landing a lot of damage. So I feel like he's getting better about that. We've seen him grinding a lot on his stream. He's being able to sniff out these matchups and things like that and stay solid. And speaking of matchups, one of the matchups that I don't think is that bad, you know, for Sim actually is Luke. I think Sim can fight Luke very well outside the range where that character wants to play. We have to like hope and pray for like a crouch fierce and a chaser if you're lucky to catch a limb from Sim. But it's not always so easy. And someone like Torimeshi is very flighty. He's very movement based. He's hard to lock down. So I'm curious to see what Fujimura has for him today.
Yeah, this is one of the Dawsons out of the other one, right? Out of the 2 Dawsons currently available in the league, Torimeshi opts to go for mobility more often than not in a very aggressive manner. Like he will set up, I think, 4 mix-ups as soon as he can. Right out the gate, though, he will be a little bit of a nuisance, right? He will kind of test your patience at first and then start to press on the gas. You're going to see the blatant differences between his play and YHC-Mochi's. Looking at Torimeshi's stats overall, we were talking about it a little bit earlier, 5 out of 9, and Fujimura kind of in that same regard, right? We talked about him being 5 out of 10. Difference is Torimeshi has actually had a little bit extra points for winning in one of the anchor positions. He does have 70, so 10 points over Fujimura. You can see that kind of difference, but this is going to be a matchup that I feel like is going to be given for V6 plus FAV Gaming. They want to kind of deter from or stay away from the Luke mirror matches. I'd imagine they want to save it for someone like Momochi. They want to save at least one of the Lukes for Momochi. But keeping this in mind, I'm very curious to see what the kind of movement we're going to see, what kind of movement is going to be implemented against someone like Fujimura, who hyper focuses on some of those situations, like you mentioned, right? He tries to find some of the cheap stuff early. We see him lab up one of the biggest anti-air we've seen on Twitter, which is pretty cool, against Birdie with the back roundhouse. I wonder if he'll find the opportunity to put that tech into play against somebody like Torimeshi, who is airborne a good amount of the time once he gets started.
Yeah, I think it was for V-Skill. He tries to press a button. Back heavy kick connects. We could be seeing another Twitter clip with it. And Torimeshi himself, he said, I've been practicing against Luke with my teammates, and he actually said, the more I practice, the more anxious I become. I hope to do well. Maybe that's why he had that face. He was like, brother, I gotta fight a Luke. I gotta fight who? But you knew what you came into when it came to League, or even Street Fighter V's current meta. But again, I think Sim does a decent job. But Fujimura himself says, if against Luke, I was thinking either Torimeshi-san or Sako, so I've been practicing. You'd like to win this. Sako, he's out, so Torimeshi is the only one that remains. So Fujimura practiced and prepared for either one. He'll be fighting Torimeshi today, and I'm curious again to see what he does on the float states. I'm also curious to see what Torimeshi has on his side of things on the ground. There's a lot of things that you can do in terms of medium kick and medium punch that Luke can't do. Once you get a buffer with like the crouch, fierce, and chaser, but that's like a 1 in 100 shot. And then by that time that happens, you've eaten a lot of chip, you've eaten a lot of health, and you've lost half your health just in general. Where Torimeshi then goes in for the win, gets his mix with the V-Trigger 2 if need be, or V-Trigger 1 could also work too as well, and then just cooks you.
We're going to see who actually gets to do the cooking, right? I want to know what the V-set's going to be, if it's going to be 2 for the side of Luke. It's not, actually. We're looking for the big guns. V-skill 1 is going to be the choice for Fujimura, surprisingly, right? I think you get a lot of mileage out of forcing Dalton to try to tech certain situations. But I guess he's looking for those big, giant opportunities to land these critical hits, critical counters. It's very much so the Gravemaker style. Torimeshi also going full V-set 1. Here we go. Game number 1. Already starting off with the crush counter. You see the aggression, trying to go for the drill. Fujimura stuffs it out completely, and now here he goes.
The sweep unfortunate. Moving out that heavy kick. Would love to get a crush counter and a side switch. Torimeshi trying to take the skies, but there's the float stake, jump heavy kick, punish, and the walk-up knuckle sandwich throw.
Oh, he missed the target. How did he actually miss time that roundhouse? Getting a full whip punish Torimeshi, not really equating to anything significant as Fujimura is chasing him down. No chaser though.
One more good hit. An EX Fireball could come through in the clutch with the quickness. Gotta be careful that Torimeshi with the mediums every so often. Trying to get that right distance to get that hit into the side. Took the skies. Side switch.
Mix.
He's not done. He's not done. This is a zoner, by the way. This is a zoner.
They're all just functions at the end of the day, Sankola. That's just how it is. Torimeshi just needs one more touch. Oh boy. The Rock Smasher chipping away a little bit. Fujimura into the single hit. That was a big bait from Torimeshi, knowing full well Fujimura was trying to get the no chaser into critical art for chip damage. But all that chip and still no dip. Torimeshi getting the first round.
Torimeshi, man, that was risky with it. Dog took the skies. It was able to time things perfectly. And Fujimura was not able to clip him landing or even clip those fierces. Torimeshi gonna make him fall. First round of Torimeshi. Medium kick. Side kicks in. Gray Light building on the side of Fujimura, and you see him backing off that medium kick range. Ooh, taking the jump fierce. It's the back throw.
He got hit by the sandblasher. Now Torimeshi again taking to the skies a little bit more. Roundhouse setting up for fireballs, and he thought the mix-up was coming. Instead, he backed away. Fujimura got mixed a little bit. And again, taking to the skies. No, back throw. Stay in place, says Fujimura off that forward throw.
More cooking. He's out of there. Anti-air. Teleport. No, jump back jab. And look at, stay away from that character. That's going to be a whip punish. And that's going to be a lot of damage on the side of Torimeshi. Fujimura evening things out, if not a lot more. He's got the V-Trigger in store to seal things off, to seal the deal. He's backing away looking for that play.
So the attempt. The back roundhouse Fujimura is looking for it, and he takes him down on the way after the teleport brings him back down to earth. That was so smart to save the Rock Smasher for that occasion. Fujimura, very well played. Very well timed, I should say. Ooh.
Like an aerial with it. Torimeshi, that's smooth in the move. We talked about that. Hard to pin this man down. Slippery like an eel. EX, side kicks in. Back rise, no surprise, he's still there. He's fireball locking him down. Like a V-Trigger. You have to hold that. Ooh.
Again, no, on the other side, still finding his way out, but still the teleport is going to be what brings him back into the side switch position. Torimeshi getting the anti-air. Fujimura just trying to avoid the mix from the EX fireball. There it is. Torimeshi getting game number 1. Immediately after getting the life lead, he was big chillin'. He was like, you know what, enough Torimeshi, I'm gonna play like my man YHC-Mochi.
Torimeshi able to take that, and again, the smooth movement I feel like is a big component of why he's able to get these victories. Not so often, you know, it's not every single time that he can avoid rock smash and stuff like that, but he's been setting himself up for success. He's been setting himself up for these good round starts and making Fujimura just have to make these comebacks that are not happening. And he stays away continuously. He's focusing on being able to teleport outside that distance, the medium kick range, the long range too as well. The long distance relationship. It's not you, it's me. Oh, the jump in off the heavy. He was ready. It's a big combo right there. Talk about Fujimura landing these charge combos and doing what Luke does best. That's dealing out damage and dividends.
Look at the amount of damage. We're talking about dividends. Look at the investment in Luke. It's starting to pay off. Or is it? Oh, Torimeshi was too far out. He couldn't get the extension on the crouching medium slide. Oh no, but it's fine. No cook up. Fujimura, he was invited to the barbecue. He said, I'd rather play video games.
Sitting inside. You're gonna go hungry. Oh, shove heavy kick. See what's the float state. See the button out. Still, Fujimura's game to win. One quick EX fireball could be the way to play. Even a normal fireball. Now V-trigger, but the trade will definitely do what it has to do. Fujimura says get through. I like that. Going for the trade had more than enough help to take that transaction. It staves off that point.
Something doesn't add up in the books here, man. This guy's trying to trade with who now? This guy's getting a lot more of a gain than a negative. He's been all green, and he hasn't seen that much red just yet. So Torimeshi is looking like he's trying to equal out the books. He's the accountant in the matchup now. Anti-air is there, crouching medium punch, a great equalizer to prevent Luke from jumping in further. But is it actually going to stop Fujimura from actually moving forward? No, sir. Here's the trigger, though. There it is. Yeah, the big check. The checks and balances from Torimeshi. There's still 1 point.
That jab right there. Shout to the dash. He may not pass. Torimeshi backing up again. Not trying to let this man get in. Not trying to let the back medium punch, back heavy kick hit. Those nasty buttons of Luke. Denies a jump in. Torimeshi, this is where he wins. This is how he wins. Long distance right here. Long lives the sim. Don't let him in.
Trying to make that collection. In the depths of Luke's pockets right now. He is at a huge deficit. He's just trying to cash out and bring him into bankruptcy. This guy's got no cash left in his pocket, and look at that. He's filing for bankruptcy in 1 more round. Look, Torimeshi has been so dominant these last couple of rounds.
Yeah, especially like the half into. I mean, that leads up to the last part of the round going down. He gets these big leads and he keeps them. Fantastic. Call for the corner. Be reversal immediately though. Staving off that pressure. And again, that movement. He's out of there. And that mid-range, the long range, where it's so hard for Fujimura to contest. He's doing different things like crouch spears, trying to find a buffer, EX fireball, but now Torimeshi getting aggressive with it. Where's that back heavy kick? Torimeshi putting his own heavy kicks on the deck.
Look at him, he's smoothing out here. Yeah, the response to the drill, that is good. Oh man, the counter hit also, getting into the crouch jab, flash knuckle. This is gonna be huge. Torimeshi, can he finish it off? He sure can. No, not quite. I wonder if there was anything else he could have done. It's because of the trigger scaling. It messed it up. But did he have another extension? I couldn't tell.
Not sure, but there's still a lot of damage. It's only one more hit to do it. The chaser from downtown was able to get the super. He's too far up. He's too far up. He's too high to fly. Anti-air right there. You're too high to fly. Fujimura ready and save that crouch spears.
He bet it all. He bet it all against Fujimura. I can't imagine what he tried to teleport for. He tried to be right above Fujimura for what now? Fujimura was like, oh, well, thank you. Thank you for the stimulus check. Now I'm alive for another month. This is great. I can pay my bills. It's fantastic. Thanks, Dawson. That was, oh man, two big errors there. I think Torimeshi, I feel like he could have gone for a different route off of his medium slide loops from the Yoga Fire. Instead of going for trigger, because of the scaling involved, he wasn't allowed to take down Fujimura.
Unfortunately, the other error, putting himself in the corner, was not what you need to do. The DP to get through right there, gets a dive kick, wakes up with the violence right there. Yoga Flame gets the distance again. He stays in that right range, he can get that win. This is all he needs to do. Apply the pressure when need be with the EX fireball from mid-range and back off the long range. This is your game to win. One-touch situation.
And the more you prolong it, Torimeshi just continues to build meter. Fujimura was not going to be patient about it, but that's the price you got to pay. Torimeshi now on match point.
Yeah, predicate with medium kick over and over again. Medium punch every so often, but medium kick has been the name of the game. Fujimura's in though.
Yo, watch out for the mix. No, he can still connect that. Fujimura, he did have an opening. He did exchange some damage. There we go. Dash up, looking for the activation. No, it's going to be the activation from Torimeshi instead.
Off the low, forcing out the D-shift, but still a lot of gray life. Gets hit. Oh, fortunate. He walked right into it, stepped right into the EX Fireball. EX on the side of Fujimura. He's going to be able to use this for EX Fireball knockdown to get in, start that oppression. He's got to play perfectly right here. He needs these long limbs from Sim. Could be the win. One good medium kick, two good medium kicks, I should say. A heavy kick crush. Fujimura looking for a button, anything, holding on. That last bit of health. Would love to have a crush for anything.
He's looking. He's trying to find the opening. That could have been. That's just one. The raw activation. Oh my lord. Oh my god. That was a horror movie and a half. That was a scary Sunday exchange if I ever seen it. Fujimura, my man, activated V trigger right in front of Torimeshi's face. That was too much for my Filipino blood to handle. I already have bad cholesterol. I already have high blood pressure. I feel like I'm about to have a stroke because of how intense that was. My man did what now? He did a V-Trigger 1 activation in front of Torimeshi's face, and Torimeshi couldn't even get the punish. And then, not only that, but you're up close and personal. You're literally walking down the street while the sniper is looking right in your direction. That could have been catastrophic in so many different ways. And I gotta say, I'm about it, but my neighbors probably wouldn't have been. So I'm glad nothing crazy came out of it.
Yeah, that could have. I saw it all to the timeline where he was able to stay fine, but Fujimura is going down to Torimeshi. Torimeshi being able to keep that long-range gameplay. I will say, though, there were definitely some moments where Torimeshi got to put himself in some situations where he didn't need to. Like, he definitely see the good matchup knowledge right there, being aware where to stand, where to land his buttons, and not what to place to as well. Like, making sure to utilize medium kick and nothing that lingers out too far where Fujimura could get that crouch fierce and a chaser into close range combat where Fujimura will make the most out of these situations. Were a few scares. However, Fujimura going down to Torimeshi. Look at the anti-airs on both sides. Bro, Torimeshi taking this man down continuously. 81%, that's what you want to do continuously. No bust outs too as well. And I gotta say, like, that's also big on the side of Fujimura to be able to deny the approach, the anti-air approach from Sin. We didn't get to see those back heavy kick combos, crush counter combos that would have been sick. Only one tech that it happened on the side of Fujimura. He tried to get grabbed and he teched immediately, so he's 100% there. 33% on the side of Torimeshi, so there were a lot of grips on the other side. But overall, though, the entire game could have been way worse, the side of Torimeshi, but he stays solid, takes it for his team. First win right here for FAV Gaming.
I feel like it could have been worse for Fujimura. I mean, like, it's so difficult to contest against the drill consistently, right? I think the impressive number to me is being able to stop any sort of air approach, because I think, you know, Dalsum, again, has some of the most versatile tools to get these mix-ups in airborne, right? He has so much manipulation of his incoming that it's hard to tell how to anti-air him. So big ups to Fujimura for even getting that high of a number, even without the uppercut itself, right? Being able to get these exchanges with some of these normals were such a big factor in preventing Torimeshi from getting relentless offense, because if you get the drill at the correct spacing, that'll be a huge problem. But going into one problem into the next one, Yamaguchi with his Luke is going to be a little bit of a different story. I feel like his has been a little bit more refined lately in the style that he wants to play, and one that kind of differs from Fujimura. I think he makes overall better decisions thus far in the league, despite it not necessarily reflecting in his results thus far. I think there's a lot to be said about Yamaguchi's progression thus far. Like, he's currently 11th in the stats, right? He's got like 6 wins out of 10, already off to a great start against Fujimura, although their teammates. He's also got pretty much the same amount of points, but this is something I'm looking forward to, right? Bonchan, he put up the hands. I don't know if that means Sagat is coming.
From what has been stated by production, it does look like Bonchan is going with the Sagat, you know. And Yamaguchi says, I don't like Sagat. I was barely able to win last time, hoping to do well this time. Bonchan says, Tiger, I thought it would win last time, but lost. This is a run back. This is a clap back, and I can't wait to see who's going to take that W. Because last time, Bonchan did get beat when he pulled up Sagat. The Sagat was no longer hidden. He came play with that character and was defeated. I felt like it was really well played on the side of Yamaguchi, but he felt like it was, you know, very close. Let's see what happens. You know, there's been some time for Bonchan to review the tapes, but you know Yamaguchi has reviewed the tapes, and we'll try to find a way to stay solid even more so in this match. Speaking about Bonchan real quick, I'm going to look at his stats, and right now he is 5-10 in terms of wins in games so far. Last time he beat Nemo's Gill with that Luke, but the Sagat has been not finding too much success. Last time I think we saw Sagat win was when he beat Storm Kubo's Abigail, and before that he lost to Yamaguchi's Luke. So let's see how this Sagat has been operating. I haven't really seen it too much on the stream, so I'm curious to see how it's going to work against Yamaguchi. Will he'll present differently than last time?
We would hope so, right? You don't want to go out 0-4 or even, you know, 1-4. You want to try to at least get the solid W. With the amount of information that you have based off of what happened in week 6, day 2, I think Bonchan is more than ready to figure out like what needs to be done in the lab, how to study after your, or like take notes after your matches. So he's been on the finer stages, right? He's been on the bigger ends of the competition. He's been to like, he is an EVO champion after all. Right, he's been on the big stages for Street Fighter League Japan, literally like every single year. So there's no doubt in my mind that when it comes to him trying to improve on a certain matchup, he really needs it. Like, he's definitely come prepared. Good thing about it is we talked about how good it is to be back into the run back scenario. Right, you don't get this every single time where you get the run back and put yourself in a situation where you get full redemption. This is quite the honor, I feel like, for Yamaguchi to be like, all right, well, I got you 2-0. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to potentially do it again, right?
And I feel like Sagat can do well against Luke. I remember Zafrino, the other Sagat players, all a few of them that are left, saying that it's not the worst matchup when everything's going perfect for Sagat. And that's the thing about Sagat is when everything's going great for him, it's going great. He's got a good matchup spread. He's not that bad of a character until he loses the lead. It's hard for him to gain that lead back. He doesn't really have that robbery factor. His V-triggers require you to get those hits to do it. He can dump out the damage, but he's so slow, and it's hard for him to get that momentum back. When he has a lead, he can be kind of annoying. And someone like Bonchan can take advantage of that annoyingness. His zoning is fantastic. His button and where he spaces those knees every so often too as well. We saw him do raw knees to get the knockdown last time he fought Yamaguchi, and that was part of a good way to play. But one misplaced knee is going to be that 3-frame into Oki for the likes of Luke. So he has to play very perfectly. He has to play on point. That's kind of the draw and also the curse of playing Sagat. But someone like Bonchan, as you put it, will learn what to do. Yamaguchi too. I'm sure he said that match and said that was, if you thought that was too close, he's went back to that match and said, what can I do better? If you're a pro player, it's not about you getting better after your losses. It's after your wins too as well. What can I do better? How can I make that less close? How can I be more dominant with these W's?
Yeah, you're going to look for some of the nuances that Bonchan had presented. There's a bunch of moments that you could look back on from week number 6 where Bonchan had actually been able to kind of prevent Yamaguchi from playing the fireball game. But when it came to the up-close pressure, I think that was pretty much the big turning tide for Yamaguchi. We kind of see Yamaguchi play a little bit passive more often than not, but I think in this particular matchup, his close-up game was a lot better than Bonchan. So we'll see how this plays out. I think, you know, Sagat has some pretty good looks in regards to the mid-range game. That standing roundhouse could be such a threat. Great counter-poking tool would be crouching medium punch also. And then if you want to catch like a slower normal, his stand heavy punch also could be pretty detrimental to a Luke player if they're trying to like walk around throwing out low medium kicks with no regard. So we'll see. Again, I want to know exactly what it is about Sagat that is coming in from Bonchan. Like, why not go for the Luke mirror match, right?
And I wonder if he doesn't feel solid in that. Like, for him to go back to this, he must have a plan. He must have a game plan. And, you know, again, Sagat, maybe not the most fun character when things are not going your way. You don't really have a way to route things back or pull things back with a comeback factor like other characters. So I'm curious to see how he's going to be stable, how he's going to be sturdy all the way through, not only when the round starts, but all the way throughout the entire match. It's hard to do so, too, as well. And you pointed out Yamaguchi's play when it comes to being more passive. I think it's kind of annoying for Sagat. You're looking for, like, 4 fears to whiff, and you get light punch in a DP and then meaty fireball and stuff like that. You're looking for those moments. And Yamaguchi doesn't really present those too often. He's pretty passive with his buttons when need be. You know, find those punishes if you're not spacing out your knees correctly. And then he turns up when he has that lead. He understands, okay, cool, I have that lead. I'm close enough. Back medium punch plus frames, lights and things like that, harass this character that doesn't really have a 3 frame to their name. So I have to rely upon EXDP as a reversal. So I'm very curious to see how the Sagat is going to stay solid the entire match. You also have to worry about V-Trigger. V-Trigger is a big problem against the zoning, as you like to do with Sagat. So let's see. Second match, Bonchan, Yamaguchi.
Ooh, we have Trigger 2, a V-Set 2 coming in from Sagat. Huh. How interesting. Well, we're looking for the unblockable setups, potentially, or maybe just combo extensions with the V-Trigger kick, right? Maybe the Tiger Spike will be what's different this time around. Bonchan again, also with the skill 2, the Hanuman charge. Hanuman, excuse me.
Definitely help out those knees. We talked about those being punishable. It'll dissuade that if he's got the EX bar, especially.
I love this. It's so difficult to tell. From this mid-range game, I think Sagat might be a little bit more problematic, right? That steady medium could be such a big tool. Yep, look at that. Yamaguchi is still trying to look for that range. Oh, but Bonchan gave it to him. And again, Yamaguchi finds the low forward. There's a big whip punish. That was so good. Throws here. Oh, go short. He baited it out. He baited out. Oh, no, same side. He wasn't ready.
That was counter hit. That would have been it. The light and the medium. The Bonchan still with some resources to fight back. Stole medium, didn't convert. Yamaguchi didn't want to bet it. Charge up, caught him jumping back and like that. You can't do that. You can't do that.
Oh no! I feel like if he just took the unblockable, if he took the guard break into the damage, it would be so severely scaled. I think he had enough life to live. That was a very tricky knee. I can't even tell sometimes. At worst, it could be -5 for the light knee. It would be punishable at worst, but there are certain moments where it's just difficult. Especially with the spacing where it's unpunishable, right?
It's true. You want to guess what that character with all that bar, because Sagat can't dump out the damage if you give him the opportunity. Him finding it kind of hard, but if he does so, you better pray. Dials him dirt with that throw. Bonchan walking with that crouching kick. Better season after season, but the medium kick comes through. Now he caught up in the corner. Jail no bail. Light. B-trigger. No hit though from Yamaguchi. For an access point, Yamaguchi.
Oh, that's it! Critical art off the light. I don't think this is gonna kill after that light. Not quite dead yet. It's so close. It's still anybody's game. Medium kick. I knew it! I knew it, St. Cola, in the depths of my soul. I knew it was gonna be the medium kick. He was planning on it. He was creeping up on him, and he was planning on it.
Stalking from the bushes, clever girl. That medium kick coming through, denying a lot of the mediums that Luke wants to do. And just a range where it seems like Yamaguchi would like to be comfortable, he's not feeling so comfortable against that button. Maybe he's got to back up and do medium punch of his own, get predictive with it, or even forward fierce at that range. But then you try to do forward fierce, you whiff, that's light kick into DP or EX knees. There's a lot of good ranges that Sagat's playing it right now, and we see Bonchan keeping solid, also calling these dashing situations, and maybe not always finding the best punishes, but he is definitely saying fine when need be. Bonchan maybe has found the answers against Yamaguchi. That medium kick, as you have been pointing out, might be a good percentage of why that's happening.
Yeah, there's a lot to consider when it comes to utilizing Luke's heavy impact, right? The heavy impact starts up at like, what, 16 frames? And even more so, if it does get whiffed, there's 19 frames of recovery. There's a lot that Sagat can do in that point in time to either prevent it or whiff punish it. So there's been a little bit of reluctancy to utilize that normal, hence why we've seen a lot of medium punches. But there's just been a lot of counter poke efforts from the side of Bonchan that has caught Yamaguchi off guard in terms of the timing. I want to know what Yamaguchi is going to do to either combat this or even try to maybe like suppress it altogether. I think giving him the look of the maybe like a jump in, maybe not from a range where the uppercut would be right in front of him, but maybe a little bit of a sharp angle to where the cross cut isn't as reliable.
I was just about to say that because I remember so many Sagat players talking about how one of the best ways to beat Sagat is to get a jump in situation. But on the ground, the crush counter is that we do some damage. V-shift goes for a punish, and I like that V-bar. Different usage right there. Not let him come through for free and catches the V-shift. He's dying tired. V-shift in the corner. This is unfortunate. Yamaguchi getting into Bonchan right now.
What a read. Oh my God, who is this man? He had all the right defensive reads. He dashed up 2 times over and called out that V-shift. What a punish from Yamaguchi, and what a read. This man is exploding onto the scene. Somebody call the corner. We might see a dead body early. This guy, Bonchan, already stuck into the corner, but wait a minute. There's a pulse. Signs of life. Back throw now against Yamaguchi.
Light fireballs, EX knees if you please, and stocks up with the Hanuman charge again. This is going to be nasty damage. It's not going to kill, but it will put him in that extra game. Counter hit, jab, DP, Bonchan on set point. He is showing off his tiger. He's been hitting for too long. He's looking strong, and this dude is doing damage out here right back after Yamaguchi was so dominant that first round.
Oh, yeah, there we go. That's one of the other looks you could give him, right? Going past the fireball game with the HP invul DP, but look at Bonchan. Roaring right back at him. Unafraid to throw these tiger shots. No, sir. You have to earn my respect.
True. Opens the door with the cross community kick. Ends it with the DP, put him in the corner. The dash up throw. Locks it down with the meaty heavy kick. The wait and bait, looking for Bonchan to reverse situation with a button or an EXCP. Yamaguchi has him locked and loaded in the corner. That medium kick is helping out, but I feel like one good fierce or even a medium punch could come through against that button. Even the EX Fireball could get the knockdown. Yamaguchi chooses to do so. Oh, it's still there!
I'm actually surprised. I thought we would have gone for like V-shift break maybe, but I think maybe Sagat would have been able to like V-trigger to like charge up. I've never seen that interaction before. Oh boy, counter hit. No, he thought it was a throw as well. Yamaguchi thought it was going to be a throw as well. Bonchan prime and pristine with the confirm. You saw the counter hit confirm off the standing jab into the crouching medium punch. This guy is so sick. Sagat and Bonchan in unison once more, getting the pure redemption. 2 games straight. That's actually quite the story. That's super sick.
So dope from down and out right there. One show up to Sagat again. It gets his wit, changes it up. The V trigger, the V skill usage, the timing of his fireballs, it felt like in that medium kick was definitely what was the name of the game. One thing I wanted to see though were more jump ins from the likes of Yamaguchi, but maybe the lockdown on the neutral in general was just too hard to even think about getting that jump in situation, because we did see him reverse and actually I'd say just smoke Yamaguchi in some of those rounds going down. He just kind of rolled over him.
Yeah, that's tough too. Like when you are getting harassed by normals within that range, you don't even have the kind of timing to even jump. Even like the tiger shots that are coming out from that distance, it makes it so difficult to even consider jumping because you get clipped on the way up. I think there's been numerous times where Yamaguchi had been reset in the air because he got caught midway through. So you take a look at that, 0 attempts at an airborne attack. Or actually a successful airborne attack, really. I think it's just because the ground game was just so shut tight. I think Bonchan did a fantastic job of deterring any of the jump-ins from ever occurring. And we see in those situations where it's 0 out of 0 for even EX reversals. Both these characters have EX DPs, right? None of them really came out of it. Very interesting. And then even the strike throw game, We usually see that number a lot higher from the side of Luke, but man, that's actually kind of wild to see zeros all across the board because of the exact game plan Bonchan had implemented this time around. Super impressive, yo. I've never seen such a low-scoring like stat sheet ever in a Luke match.
Yeah. And the fact that we didn't even see a bust up from the likes of Bonchan, that means he felt comfortable to not even need that reversal. That was great. And I like his wake-up defensive options. He rotated it right. And that's 20 points on the side of FAV Gaming, doing big work out here. It rests on the shoulders of Momochi right now to tie things up, to get 20 points on their side. And all you can really do is send up the last person that you have. That's Tokido.
Yeah. So, taking a look at the current record, I think Tokido has been doing phenomenally with the Uryo play. He also had quite success with Luke, but I think he's been pretty much on fire lately with this character. He did fall short to Nishikin a couple of days ago, but outside of that, I feel like that would be a good choice. It's not going to be the choice in mind. He actually announced it's going to be Luke. All things considered, he did face off against Momochi in the last run back. He fell short 0-2 using the Uryo, so he's trying to make sure he gets his practice in with all of his characters against someone like Momochi.
I think it's smart to go with the Luke. I think there's things that Uryo can present, but seeing how dominant it was when they played, like Momochi definitely had to answer to everything that Uryo wanted to do. I want to see the Luke. I want to see Tokido's this new Luke that we've seen in the World Warrior events in Street Fighter League. He didn't do so hot last time when he met Shuto, but outside of that, Tokido's definitely found his way with the Luke play. It's not just about finding light things here and there. It's like being just an annoyance, just pestering away with standing light, crouching light into the Oki continuously, harassing with mediums and crouching kicks every so often to get some damage when need be. But 75% of the game plan is with these lights and set chop, where he puts you in the corner, and where Luke has some of the best in the business. He's got great buttons to harass you with medium punch, crouch mini kick. Even when his turn ends, it doesn't end because it's a space trap like that. Momochi says that our team is facing some crisis. I've trusted my team will win, and I'll go the extra game and gain 5 points if need be. Tokido says last time we lost 40-0, so we'll get this back.
I'm excited to see it. I'm super excited to see it. Man, this would be a huge win for V6 plus FAV Gaming, not only in the redemption story, but I feel like this also would be a very big barrier for Gyogun to even try to penetrate, right? I think as it stands right now, looking at Saishun Console Kumamoto, they have 330 points in total because of their 40-point victory, excuse me, hello. But also V6 plus FAV Gaming, they're pretty much dead even against Gyogun prior to this matchup, so very, 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 very scary, considering who Gyogun has to play in Week 14, which we will get to eventually. We'll get there when we get there, but I gotta say, man, it's gonna be a little problematic.
That'll get so good on the side of Gyogun, but that's how it is with Street Fighter League towards the end. Not only where you land and your team land, doesn't matter. It matters where everyone else lands and how it shifts the entire landscape. So it's so hard to call who's going to be able to make it. Obviously, Complement Detonation, Hiroshima team, they're out. But the rest, like Gyogun, FAV, Seoul, all these teams, it could be anybody that gets in the qualification. And then also seeding also matters too as well. And then for some of these teams, still contention, depending on what happens with the squad, might be able to make it in that grand final. However, we're focused right now on this final match, Tokido versus Momochi. If it so happens to be so, if Tokido gets that win, or if Shinobiism Gaming's Momochi is able to take it and give us that final first and one.
This is going to be so scary, man. We're getting closer and closer to Judgment Week here in Street Fighter League Japan 2022. It's been quite the journey. But we get closer to that final week, especially with this last match. Closing out Week 13, here we go. V6 Plus FAV Gaming versus Shinobiism Gaming. Battle of the Gamers. Luke versus Cody. Tokido versus Momochi. Tokido already starting off to be the aggressor thus far. Dashing up, no check there from Momochi, but slow and steady usually wins the race for Momochi. He's building up that meter despite being at the deficit. He's okay with playing at this range, even with back towards the corner. Tokido harassing him and peppering him with a bunch of normals. Oh, you thought you could season this chicken? Not today. Side switch into the combo. I love the damage.
Off that crush cover, able to get that side switch, and now the throw game. hot and heavy. He ready. He's got that knife again for the plus range situation. Not utilizing it until he gets that on-hit situation. He wants that on-hit and the knife cut or some big boy damage. But look at that defense from Tokido. Not swinging out anything, wait for that B-bar to wind down, utilizing some of it to get that distance, to push it back. Ooh, this is looking real nasty. A good conversion, and then after that, we'll be into super to seal it. Tokido stocks up with the V-skill. Walk up knuckle sandwich.
Speaking of knuckles, feel the zonk coming on. Yep, there it is. Exactly what we anticipated. You know, Momochi, he might let another one rip. Probably around, yep, there it is. Watch out for the throw. Oh my God, and he was waiting for it. Momochi timed the crouch jab perfectly into the counter hit combo. Slow and steady wins the race, I'm telling you.
And that heavy kick though in the face, we see that button continuously. But now the crouch right there. But Mochi utilizing that button, knowing that Tokido loves his light buttons. Lets the party system take the wheel, gets the crush, but he has to be in that right range where it's not punishable. It's still a risk. He's finding a reward. Big jump in off the medium kick. EX, Ruffian, B-skill gets the knockdown back rise. Tokido back against the wall.
Ooh. Reversal now. You know, on a gray life, chipping a little bit more. The reversal, was it worth it? Oh, he works it, the low medium kick. Now he's trying to reverse it. He's trying to at least get this life lead, but more importantly, the corner positioning against Momochi. Can he continue the pressure before getting zonked in the face into trigger?
War Fierce, love to fight a crush. Fantastic follow-up. Medium kick, activation. Now I get to play that forbidden nooch 2 that we typically see from Cody. Can outrange Luke. Careful the buttons that you whip out. Anti right there. Again, the flip out. Caught him with a throw. Take the chain right off his neck. Next hit to connect will be the end right here of Tokido.
Jumping out of there, the range, the big trade. This is going to be at the benefit of Tokido, I feel like. But Momochi is looking to waste the rest of the Rock Smasher, so it's not a threat. There we go. No, he was overzealous. The tornado hit way sooner than Momochi anticipated. He thought he could dash up and apply extra pressure. Tokido knew full well how to get the punish going. And I like the idea from Momochi, right? He was backing off to get rid of the Rock Smasher so that he could safely throw a fireball without any sort of challenge to it.
Unfortunate though, Tokido even things out. Cross-cut DP, can't leave for free. Pay the toll with your health. Mochi, you know, he charged up that heavy boy zonk right there. If you can get that right distance and find a confirm 2 would definitely be helpful. Medium kick and the medium punch and the heavy zonk would be a ton of damage. And corner carry. Tokido, not the turret. Walk up throw, forward fierce with the medium. Get zonk, B reversal. Not trying to hold nothing.
Kind of tough too. We do have the trigger on the side of Momochi, but we do not have 2 bars yet. Instead, he's going for the sweep. He doesn't want to waste that meter into activation. Oh, that's going to be huge. No, the overhead actually goes unpunished. Tokido, I don't recall, or I can't even imagine what that could have been. Maybe a missed flip for a fireball, but either way, Tokido recovers from that greatly and now dictates the pace. He's throwing a couple of fireballs. Sandblaster, I should say. EX Sandblaster at that. Now it's Momochi back away.
Trying to find a jump in.
No.
Testing to see if he's got that stand fierce charge up for the zonk too as well. If he gets a good jump in, it's going to be the win. Gets fireball for the knockdown. Another fireball. The sway and play. Mochi's not done yet. Oh. Plays back into it.
Still scared to consider. Oh, Momochi, he's got to make it happen now. That's one throw. 3, 2, 1. That's all she wrote. Tokido not even gonna let the timer scam go. He's trying to make a statement against Momochi, and that is, get out of my face. You're not getting this W again. I'm trying to avenge my Uryo, brother. I'm trying to show you my secondary, aka my other main.
He said, you got lucky last time. The Uryo pick wasn't it. But this loop though, this annoying style, this pestering style, this is the way of Tokido. This is the Tokido that we want to see, you know, previously early in the year, but this is how, you know, take some time, liberate how you want to work a character, how you want to play with your style, and find ways to stay stable in first and twos and first and threes against these strong players. And we see Tokido able to get that victory and be really annoying and pestering with these lights and everything so often. Time over his, oh no! That had to been a fireball. Keep me too far out. Maybe try to react to a fireball from the side of Momochi.
Okay, does get the counter hit. I was looking for the mid-range game to see when that medium kick would actually collide with Tokido moving forward. It does find the mark, but now the back throw is here. The pressure is here as well. Tokido, he's not looking to back away just yet, right? He's looking for the big opportunity. No check from Momochi against the throw. D-reversal. Now you're stuck. What are you going to do about all this pressure? The damage incoming. You know what happens when Luke opens you up. He deals out a ton of damage, baby. There goes the forward throw. Is there a roundhouse? It's whiffed!
Ooh, too far out with it. Momochi gonna punish the kind. Waiting and baiting.
No, he mistimed it.
Tokido backing off.
He just mistimed it. After a forward throw, you are completely within range. You don't have to do any sort of movement. You just have to press the button at the right time. Tokido missed the timing.
Maybe something different right now, because now Momochi just lands that medium kick, and that's it. This could have been something way different. That could have been a counter combo and a ton of damage. But Shinobi's and Gaming's Momochi picks it right back up. Awesome mistake.
Oh. I love this again. The mid-range exchange. It gets so intense too. Tokido is just hovering back and forth. He's playing around with the hitbox. He's trying to bait out Momochi and throwing a very misplaced medium, but that hasn't been the case so far. Momochi has been really finding the mark more often than not with the medium kicks. Hit or block, really.
Yeah, those are bar. So either way, Tokido, go to find his conversions, put him in the corner. Protect though. Medium kick, harassing with these poke buttons. But this is where he gets way more active. Puts him in the corner, gets way more active, forcing out the future activation. Jump fears, light, trying to get it for the tick hit throw. Didn't get much off of that though. Tokido wanted to back off. This is fine for him. He's fine to play this style. We've seen this before. We see the timeouts.
You gotta make some sort of hustle soon with 33 seconds. Well, not when he's getting beaten and battered like this. Throw is gonna be enough. And Momochi actually thought the same thing. So Tokido now pulling out a different look with back medium punch, getting the meaty. You saw the counter hit. You saw the attempt from Momochi trying to press either a button or tech at that moment and got himself another round. If he can get another round after this, he'll be in quite the lead against Momochi, but this has been so problematic. Momochi has had decent success against some of the Lukes, but this is a whole different ballgame. Tokido has been really sharpening this character. So what happens when that knife meets a giant rock to the face? The Zonk knuckle close to stun. The bust out is there, preventing the stun. So smart from Tokido.
Actually with those crouching medium kicks, trying to find an opening. The V-bar at the bottom of the light in the EX Zonk. Heavy addition, the medium kick ruffian. That's the backup for the anti-air, wasn't able to do so. Puts himself in the corner, but Mochi with a lot of health to play with. Tokido, one of those mediums. The throw pressure too as well. He's got the bar at the bottom. Some damage could come through. If he's able to land one good crouching medium kick. Could be close to it. Also with the V-bar. Challenge the knife throw, or any of these knife normals.
A little tough to land, Tokido, especially with a knife. Oh boy! Does it the meaty forward throw? Gets to apply pressure after this. Oh no! He mistimed it! There was a big throw over the side of Momochi! Sandblasters still. The Rock Smashers, I should say. He walked in with confidence. That could have been a big mistake. Oh, the counter is there! It's too far.
Was it?
It was way too far.
He has to finish it.
Oh,
the dash up,
God.
back throw from Tokido. What a god! What an absolute, in 5 seconds, absolute clutch to dash up and not get hit with that light from Momochi. To catch him slacking like that, to thread the needle at 5 seconds, the way of Tokido at these crucial moments when the time is winding down, how is he able to stay so solid?
Very good question. Very good question that will remain unanswered from my part, especially from the table over in Japan as well. Absolutely stunned at the fact that Momochi wasn't able to stop that final bit of pressure, that final dash. He's been so on point with checking so many different players, but it's a whole different story when it comes to how many seconds are left on the clock, right? He's been trying to play that life lead game, but sometimes in certain moments, you can't slip, man, especially when it comes to your favorable position, right? You had the life lead, and also you had the game up to where you wanted to play. Your style of play is running out the clock.
Actually is. The fact that he's being able to use every resource possible, that's Tokido's way. Beyond just like, I'll play just the match what I see in front of me. The clock has a resource too as well. And as things wind down, he puts the pressure on a little bit more where it's hard to even, it seems like it's hard to stop. He started going for more jumper situations too as well, where Momochi wasn't able to anti properly. Momochi either has to go jump back jab, target combo, but it's so hard because we've seen him hold the Zonk charge. I think that might be the button that he's choosing too often, where he's going to have to let go of that button and say, I have to anti this dog. He is jumping it, even on block. He's getting close enough to make me drop. So right now, Tokido on lock for game point.
Super impressive thus far, man. Tokido is really showing his worth with this character, and it's super impressive, man. I mean, like, he could navigate both types of characters, Uryo and Luke, to the upper echelon, and immediately also find his ground against somebody he lost against previously. And it's super inspirational. Look at this, the way he's playing has been so phenomenal thus far. See the exchange, yes, sir.
I like that. It's not that medium punch range. B-shift, get some distance with it. Tokido has to find his way out of the corner. Oh, he'll catch him on that tech though. Gets a knockdown. B-shift. It's not over. The medium punch catches that distance. Makes it with the back throw. Momochi with the lead. He's got the EX bar at the bottom. Could hit him with that Zonk if he gets that good hit for the heavy addition.
The activation off of the medium. Chase down in hot pursuit. Tokido is looking to speed past Mayor Cody in his Bugatti. We get the heavy impact 2 times over. Yeah, no longer his turn, allowing Momochi to get this activation out. Sorry, a block into activation. The EX Zonk gets the forward throw. And now still being able to outrange Tokido. Tokido's only chance right now to chip away is that exact strategy. Rock Smashers, Sand Blasters, EX versions. He's got another one. 10 seconds on the clock. Tokido still has 2 bars left to go. Will he spend it? Yes, he does, but the sway is still within range. And Momochi threaded the needle this time. He's like, you know what? I'm going to be the one in control. I'm not afraid of your EXs, and he reacted appropriately. Somebody had asked me on my stream, like, how do you even try to react to EX Sandblaster with Sway? I'm like, a lot of practice. That's all you can say.
Yeah. So it is. It's prediction and, that ideally reaction. Like a combination of the two. Seeing the rear back like that, get that V-skill at that right range, and he was able to find the follow-up too as well for the meeting. Mochi's still in here. He's still able to fight. Another 2 EX bars. Deal a lot of damage. Be reversal like that. Get some distance with it. Don't want to hold no plus frames. Gets this character. Talk about the corner pressure from Luke. It's real nasty.
Cheers. One of the best in the game. If not the best. Anti-air? Yeah, crosscut DP. We haven't really seen the utilization of V-Skill 1 as often. I wonder what would happen if you actually changed it up, if need be, to V-Skill 2, if Momochi happens to take this round. Looking at this right now, this is a very similar kind of match that we've seen before. There we go, big conversion off of the crouch jab. No way. No way, not today. This should be more than enough. Yeah, he had the meter, he had the charge too. Momochi showing off the real fancy stuff later in the evening. I gotta say, is this the moment where we see a slight change, Sinkola, or do you think Tokido is gonna just run back into it?
I think the change has to be the V-Skill too. We see a lot of text come from the side of Momochi, and it makes sense. This character will, you don't want to hold too much pressure from the throw pressure, especially if you get backed onto the corner we saw with the heavy kick. I would like to see the V-Skill switch up. V-Skill 1 hasn't been really utilized that often. He hasn't been given an opportunity or a moment to utilize that V-Skill. Usually you're going to switch up for Oki, you'll use the V-Skill instead, or like for some post-stun fun. but that something really hasn't happened. So I'd like to see him utilize that B skill too, because that's like a player versus player thing, where we see a lot of Tekken come from the side of Momochi, blow up that defense continuously, especially when you have him in the corner. That's another layer they have to worry about with the EX bar in the corner as Luke. Like, that's another aspect of that character, that B skill 2, that makes it so nasty. I'd like to see that. I don't want to see a switch to Uryo. It's not a problem of the character, it's just the playstyle and the B skill switch, I think. And also, more jumps. I'm gonna be real. Jump more. Test if he's holding that song, make him have to decide on giving up that button. I want to see more of those jumps come through, because those were so problematic previously. He's real grounded right now. I'd like to see what goes down if he goes for those jumpers. Take a few fears every so often, because we get close, you get real personal.
Yeah, I think there's something really significant to say in regards to what had happened over at CPT NA East, right? In regards to how some of the Codys fell short. One of the biggest detriments to their game plan was getting their Zonk Knuckle countered by that exact strategy, right? Having that neutral jump as a weapon could be a beautiful thing, but also having V-Skill 2 suppressor could also be a very big deal. But he's not going to change it up. It's still going to be V-Set 1 on the side of Tokido.
How this operates. Let's see if we can even get that V-Skill 1 going. Punish. Light up Ruffian. Back to mid-screen we go.
It's so interesting to see this back and forth thing from Tokido and Momochi. It's so hard to tell where Momochi is going to end up. V-reversal, double V-reversal. I like that, keeping him in the corner. He doesn't really need the bar anyway. And he has enough life to bring it back up. And the big confirm. Tokido is looking priming for Sheen again. He's looking to seal Shinobiism's fate.
Fantastic job right now. Nice to light deal with the medium kick at that right range. That crouch medium kick has been setting up shop for that explicit purpose. It's a good thing right here from Tokido. He's fireball, pushing Momochi to the corner. Now that medium kick too as well. Feeling real confident about these buttons. Into the EX after that crouch medium kick. DP connects. Has Momochi in the corner to hold this pressure. Based off the sweep.
A little bit rough now, but I do like him kind of going for it now. He does have a little bit life to build himself back. Whoa, no!
Oh, no!
That's a huge execution error. This is going to lead to a ton of damage and possibly the game. This might be it. Momochi looking to the skies, exclaiming something. He was upsetty spaghetti. Yo, he dropped it all over the floor, but he managed to get into the trigger. But that's it. No more comeback factor. He doesn't have enough life. He doesn't even have meter for his zonk. This guy's going right back into jail. Yo, Tokido caught him stealing, but wait a minute. Wait a minute. He got himself a lawyer.
This is Alcatraz. This is Alcatraz. He will get out.
Who knows?
Hold on now. Tokido, now the one with jail no bail.
If the glove don't fit, St. Cola, you must have quit.
The
That's
man
one.
might quit. I was gonna say something different. They get the counter hit. Dash in.
My
the dash up throw. Momochi get aggressive. EX song.
Oh no, he spent it.
Tokido
spent it. He's not looking for chip damage. He wasn't looking for the critical art chip damage. He's looking to seal it out his way, but Tokido's way is not today. Momochi with a huge critical error, still being able to recover from it. I cannot believe my eyes. Ooh. Ladies and gentlemen.
Momochi.
What?
Man, he took that right back with Tokido. He said, I can get that aggressive style. The same sort of dash that we saw, same sort of play we see from Momochi, getting aggressive with it and getting more confident in these medium kicks. He has to build that bar. He has to get that zonk pressure going. He's got to get that EX going and put them to the corner. We saw that with John Takeuchi previously. We have to see that from Momochi. He wants to win.
I can't believe it went down that way.
Oh my God.
I still can't believe it went down that way.
Jumpers again.
What are you supposed to do about this, Momochi? You're down to the depth. You're down to the dumps right now. You do have 2 bars. Tokido, he's slowly creeping on you. He's pushing you towards the corner.
Can Tokido do this? Can he win? Can he beat the case? He's so close. He's so close. He's got the B bar. He's got the ability to kind of go out these V skill 2s. This ways. Put the pressure on Momochi with the V-trigger on the side of Momochi. Helps him with this range right here. Medium kick, caught him coming in. Activation. Bad situation. Go right to the super. And I don't mind this. He's going to get a big lead. Look at the time winding down. The clock is winding down. He's got that V-bar at the top. He backs up for the Rock Smashers. Oh, he stood back up a general. Oh, the X-bar.
The trade there. Tokido still has the life lead. He gets the triple. Oh, he gets everything off of that. He gets the lights and he gets the lights out. Momochi is no longer part of the equation. Tokido finds full redemption, going 3-1 against the Prime Shinobi. V6 Plus FAV Gaming now skyrocket, breaking past the 300-point barrier, and are looking to keep themselves alive in the playoffs. Gyogun has a really tough mountain to climb in week 14. Now that V6 Plus FAV Gaming has further solidified their spot into the playoffs.
Man, you know Gyogun is sitting in the stands, angry, upset, but man, this is the team that won previously in Street Fighter League. This is what you should expect from them as they get their win so dominantly with Tokido's way. His playstyle today, just so nasty, harassing with these lights, finding the right buttons against the meter kicks and things like that. Man, just the way he winds down the clock was such an annoying character. I feel like that was the style we saw from Luke when he was at his strongest previously before the patch, and people kind of went away from it. They got a lot more aggressive, and it makes sense because Luke can be good aggressively, but Tokido kept with that style, has found an answer, and against a character that can really contest against Luke's normals mid-range, and to worry about the EX song and the corner pressure, stayed so solid. Man, Tokido, and just the whole team in general, cooked today.
Yeah.
He said, yes!
I will give some big credit over to Momochi too, especially after his moment where he had that very crucial input error and he got that wasted critical art. He still managed to recover nicely. It just, from that moment on, I feel like there was a lot where Tokido just had his number. And man, it could have been either way. It genuinely could have been either way. But taking a look at it, again, another 40-point ball game in week 13. We've had 3 battles thus far that have gone the distance 40. Sorry, not gone the distance, but have gone completely cut short, 40-0. 2 of them from the side of the home teams, from the Goyo Ojibwari side versus Hiroshima Team Iguza. Saishunkan Seoul Kumamoto happened to get their 40 bomb. From the away side, not too long ago, literally the same day, V6 Plus FAV Gaming now rounding it out. But as Torimeshi rounds up his thoughts in the post-game interview, he was talking about how tough a match it was against Fujimura, and it gave him so much anxiety that his stomach hurt.
Yeah, the bubble guts? I feel that. We all feel that when we fight Luke. We all feel that when we fight Luke. But for him to say that, to be honest, for him to say that and be so dominant in a match is kind of wild, because we saw him take that pretty convincingly, besides a few mistakes ever so often.
Bonchan's so cool. Bonchan's so cool. I'm waiting for his statement, but this guy is truly a class act. Like, he's mad funny too. Yeah, I'd imagine he's super elated and ecstatic to have the character he's so proud of and known for actually work out in his favor in a big story, right? You had fallen short. You put all your effort and faith into this character. You fell short the first time. Now that you're in the home position, you get full redemption, right? He's saying, finally, the Tiger worked. Although our leader was not present, he did not want to play poorly without him, so he proved his worth. He made sure to get the W today. We talked about him going into it, right? He didn't have necessarily the best record. He was just about average, but he got himself the big 10 points. Very important to follow through against the rest of the team Shinobi's in gaming.
Definitely had a plan. He said he planned to whip them, and he definitely did so. Utilized that medium kick over and over again, and just really good positioning with the fireballs and things like that. Making so Yamaguchi couldn't even get the jump in if he wanted to. Ground game was just on lock. We're going to be seeing what Tokido says. And I got to say, once again, Tokido finding his way with this character. We saw it CPT when he was able to qualify and get that top spot. We saw it Street Fighter League in the later half of the Street Fighter League, I should say. And we saw it today. You know, being able to utilize this character in an annoying, pestering way and really shore up things when need be and really get aggressive when need be and really wind down the clock, that takes a lot of effort. Even with a character like Luke, it takes a lot of effort to get that lead and be able to keep that lead, especially against a character like Cody with so many advancing good specials, great normals too as well. V-triggers are fantastic. So Tokido says the Luke and Cody matchup, you've been lately thinking about that Luke can win. And maybe he thought this way because he hasn't played against Momochi, but he's been practicing a lot. And you know, it's he also says that during the halfway of the match, he thought he was about to lose, but we saw him be able to shore up the ship. And you point out that Momochi did make that big mistake. It's one thing for a player to make a mistake, but for another to be like, okay, let me punish this in the heat of the moment. You know, like if they whiff a super, you're in trading mode, anybody can hit that. But like in the heat of the moment, when your team is riding on you to get these points in a stressful situation towards the end of a league, not everyone's going to be dashing in and getting an optimal combo.
Yeah, that's just super scary, man. Just even trying to contest against like not only your opponent, but technically the clock as well. So looking into this matchup with Tokido and Momochi, right, we see that happen time after time, and no pun intended, time after time. Man, I gotta stop doing that. But looking at their matchup overall, he was pretty confident with the Luke matchup. You can see it, you can hear it. But overall, the Luke prevailed, and I'm glad he actually stuck to his guns instead of like, you know, choosing to go with Luke first, dabbling with Yuri in second. Like we kind of see that happen in a longer set more often than not, but in other areas of the world, I feel like with Japan they kind of stick to their guns pretty consistently, if I'm not mistaken. Like in terms of like the long set. We do see a couple of changes over, but it doesn't necessarily equate to success. But taking a look at the stats instead, the anti-air department, 50% from the side of Tokido, completely stopping that. And 4-9 as Cody, that's pretty impressive as well.
Yeah, it's not bad. That's really good right there. The bust outs came hot and heavy. 2 out of 3 right there. 67% the techs on the side of Tokido. 4 out of 17. You definitely want to hold those throws. Yeah, teching is definitely a pain point if you deal with the likes of Cody. 6 and 19 on the side of Cody's Momochi. But I got to go back to, you know, Luke and the fact that Tokido, you know, making this character strong. You can pick up Luke and you might find some success on rank. You can find some success at your locals and stuff like that here or there. But when it comes down to the nitty gritty, when people are practicing against this character, when they are figuring out how to fight you as a player and the character, Luke can't save you. Luke can't just, you can't just pick up Luke and just, I'm going to win. You have to find the right way to play. It has to fit your play style. The character has to fit what you want to do in the game, what you find interesting, or you're not going to be able to make it happen. And Tokido is making it happen. 40 points on the side of FAB Gaming. They're definitely gaming out here. And they're finding their way up and about in terms of leaderboards. The winners of last season, they haven't proven that they're out here for a reason.
I love the way this has been working out thus far. You know, Shinobiism Gaming getting closer and closer to the pretty much big playoffs, the big dance, but still stuck at 300 points. It's very, very scary for them. But not as scary, I feel like, as Torimeshi's movement. Again, Torimeshi has been one to kind of diverge in the movement-based Dawson play that we are currently seeing. Fujimura had a couple of answers to that, but I will say, for Torimeshi's behalf, there have been a few moments where he actually kind of scared me. Like, he's landed so many of those loops, the EX Yoga Fire loops, that it led to so much damage, but there have been a few moments where he actually dropped out for the damage and potentially could have been destroyed off of it. Fujimura had a couple of good looks himself, right? He had the idea of going for the Note Chaser. He did anti-air the teleport, but he didn't get anything out of it. But that was so kind of silly, right? Torimeshi opting to go for the side switch instead of trying to just keep himself contained in the corner, or at least contained in the mid-screen. I kind of get it, just because you could anticipate maybe a Sand Blaster, but Fujimura was not going to bite. What happened in this matchup, Sankola?
Well, the Tiger was biting. He was feasting right here, utilizing that B trigger 2 to cut through the likes of Yamaguchi, and Yamaguchi not answering back, you know, in the right sort of way, gets some of that B trigger play. I did like Yamaguchi, somewhat, outside the mid-range game, but the mid-range game overall was ruled by that medium kick. You had pointed out, and we see that take the victory right there. We saw you also set up shop. Like, we saw good moments like this. Yamaguchi had a really good round. He was able to not only get a good V-shift punish, but call out the V-shift against Bonchan, but that was not enough. The fireball lockdown disallowed Yamaguchi to even think about these jump ins that be so detrimental against the likes of Sagat, because you can do a little bit of damage, but not enough to deter someone to jump in. But on the ground, the beast was feasting, bro. My God. Sagat bringing out the Sagat, the forward medium kick. Sagat bringing out the Sagat. Bonchan is the Sagat. And he brought this character, no longer hiding the tiger, and getting the victory for his team.
This is the big run back between the two warriors. Again, one of the strongest players to ever grace us with Street Fighter. I gotta say, this went down to the wire more often than not. This is the style that Momochi likes to play, and Tokido was 1000% ready for it. In what looked like a very convincing game from the side of Momochi, there just wasn't enough for him to hang on, right? The chip damage was just so much, and the dash up was just so unpredictable. Tokido's movement overall, especially on hitbox, is so hard to track down, but either way, I still like Momochi's offense a lot more than his defense. You see the kind of damage that Cody can pump out. You see the threats here, enough to force Tokido to make such critical errors, like wake up critical art. Look at all that. Like, even with the match, or so even with the meter, he just dumps out the damage. And you see Momochi really trying to egg on Tokido into making the wrong decision so that he could shine on offense. It's been very, very pertinent that he's been trying to do so. But I will say, Tokido having the right call here, man, he stopped the advances of Momochi. He saw how confident he was walking up towards him. He's like, look, man, I don't know if you know this, but this is my block, man. I rule Metro City now. You stay behind the desk. I'm going to clean up the streets. That's just how it be sometimes. But Tokido, again, very impressive in regards to tracking down Momochi's movement, a little bit overzealous in regards of moving forward. It ended up being to his detriment that he falls short. 40-point ball game, again, from V6 Plus FAV Gaming by the collaborative efforts by some of the elite of the elite.
Absolute insane play today from all the competitors, but especially the fact that V6 FAB Gaming has been doing fantastic out here. They are still in that top spot. They're not trying to drop. They're trying to get that win. Again, 2P. But again, all these teams are super strong. All these teams are at the top spot. It's so close to contention for the points. You see 40 points right there, as you mentioned. The little Ojibani starts to get up for Itsuka. 30 points on the side of Good 8 Squad against Gilgun. And Detonation going down to Saishun Console Kumoto and the 40-baller, and then another 40-baller of FAV Gaming. People are leaving with a lot, and some with absolutely nothing in their hands. As we get closer and closer to the finale, every one of these points, whether it be 10, 30, or 40, all matter. And where you are settled and where the other people are settled also matter. Good 8 Squad, Ojibani Star, Saishun Console Kumoto, V6, Shinobiism Gaming, and Gyogun. As Gyogun sits below, may not be able to qualify. Look at how far they are, Vicious.
Oh my God. Depending on how things go with the schedule, V6 or Shinobiism Gaming? Yo, Shinobiism Gaming went from being second for so long down to potentially getting eliminated from the playoff spot. Oh my God. Considering what's happening next week as well, Shinobiism has to face off against Detonation. If Detonation stops him from getting any points, that could be huge. Gyogun has to face off against Nagoya, so it doesn't necessarily affect Nagoya. Hiroshima Team Ixen has to face off against V6, and then Good 8 Squad has to face off against Saishunkan Seoul Kumamoto. This is so dangerous. This is actually so dangerous. If Detonation can fulfill their destiny and be the point blockers, they might be able to take down Shinobiism Gaming with them. Same with the V6 Squad. If Hiroshima Team Ikuza can stop V6 Plus FAV Gaming, that might give Gyogun their chance, but this is going to be tough, right? Good 8 Squad coming up against Saishunkan Seoul Kumamoto as the first match. Hiroshima Team Ikuza, again, they got to play point deniers against V6 Plus FAV Gaming. This is going to happen week 14 of day 1. You guys do not want to miss that.
Keep it locked and loaded on all the Capcom channels, YouTube, Twitch. Make sure you are catching all this action. We are so close to the grand finale. We're so close to the playoffs. We can't even tell who's going to be making that spot besides Good 8 Squad and possibly Nagoya Ojibani Star. Beyond that, it's so hard to see who's going to get that victory. 2 teams are out, but the rest remain. And there's only 5 seats for that qualification seat where we will see who is going to be the best team in Japan. They'll go on to fight EU and US at the finals. You do not want to miss even a single bit of action, a single drop, a single crush counter on your screen.
Right, if you miss it, well, guess what? You still have the VODs to go through. No shame in that. We totally get it. You could be a busy person, or you could be from the States like us, right? It's a little bit too early for your liking, but I'll tell you what, when you do watch it, you let us know at _Saint at Vicious FGC. Even holler at Capcom Fighters. Let them know what a great job they've done bringing all the action from Japan to the stateside in the full English broadcast. We've been throwing it down month after month after month, even for those that are international and also can holla in English. I'll tell you what right now, this is where you need to mark your calendars, ladies and gentlemen, on the 9th of December, day 1 of week 14. That is only 3 days away. Then after that, after a good rest on the weekend, you have the 13th to look forward to the finale of regulation play here in Street Fighter League Japan 2022. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been quite a journey, and we are getting to that final judgment week where we see who the top 5 teams will be going into the playoffs.
We're so close to finale. I'm shaking, man. I can't wait. My neighbors are definitely going to be upset, but I'll tell you one thing. It's going to be super hyped to see the cream of the crop, and it's not going to stop in terms of the quality. For now, keep playing Street Fighter 5, and we'll see you in the streets. Have a good night.
それではストリートファイターリーグプロ JP 2022本日は第13節 Day2 こちらの2試合をお届けいたしました。実況は私 R、 そして解説はハメコさんでお送りいたしました。ハメコさんありがとうございました。
ありがとうございました。
じゃあね。